Boston Celtics are looking for number 19.
Tatum pull it up.
Hear every playoff game right here. Your home for Boston Celtics basketball. WBC FM and HD1 Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
After a night off, the Celtics in Orlando will continue their first-round playoff series this evening at TD Garden. The Green lead this best of 7, 3-1. Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell have the pregame at 8 and a tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Drew Holiday is out again with his strained hamstring. Jaylen Brown has been officially listed as questionable. Last night, Golden State got 27 points from Jimmy Butler. They beat Houston again 109-106 to take a 3-1 series lead. Earlier last night, the Eastern Conference's top seed Cleveland swept the Heat, care of a 138-83 win in Miami. In other NBA news, Milwaukee made it official yesterday. Damian Lillard is out the rest of this season and maybe all of next year with a torn Achilles. And Shaquille O'Neal has accepted an unpaid voluntary role as the new GM of the Sacramento State men's basketball program. His son just transferred there from Florida A&M this spring. Red Sox had last night off. They're in Toronto tonight. Garrett Crochet will get the start. And at the NHL playoffs, Brad Marchand had an assist for Florida last night in a 4-2 home win over Tampa Bay. Panthers now lead the Lightning 3-1. Out west, it was Dallas over Colorado 6-2 to take a 3-2 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit catcheslaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT booting up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you. And I think you know that.
Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fat and having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
There. Milo, the team Milo, my son is on, is really good, and they have 2 league games, usually 1 non-league game a week. In the 2 league games, they got a kid who could get drafted in the second round of the MLB draft, and then the second kid that they have is the starting pitcher for Team Canada.
Jeez.
So he's not pitching those league games. He's a sophomore. He's not pitching those league games. Those kids are much better than him. But there's a decision that has to be made. So here's the deal: is that like if I don't get him at the game, I don't mind going to the games because like the games are good. The competition in that ISL league is insane. So I mean, those are the best players in the state, and so in Northeast probably. Connecticut maybe, but it has some teams. But as a whole, I would bet you the ISL in Massachusetts is the best league in the Northeast. So, or certainly New England. So it's like kind of fun to watch, but not fun enough to go sit through all the games, but fun enough to watch. So, but if I don't go to get him at the game, because it's too far for him to drive. I can't ask him to drive home from Groton at 9 o'clock at night. And then if he does go back with the team to Groton, then it's technically Stephanie's time to go get him and she's got a job, and to ask her to go out at 9 o'clock to get him in Groton is just, I don't think a good for a couple an ex-couple that's getting along. I don't know if that's the best modus operandi to do.
Yeah.
Things are going well. I don't want to, because I would be pissed if she was like, go get him at 9 o'clock, if that was what the parenting agreement was. So I wouldn't like that. So you're in this situation, but an hour and a half to get to North Andover.
This is why Dan comes down here, and when he fills in, he's always here at 5 in the morning, because if he waits an extra half hour, that will double his commute.
And Andover seems to be a very, very nice place with big houses and everything else, and it's like a quaint New England town, but why would you live there? Like, if it's expensive to live there, why would you live there? Why would you live so far away from the city? Unless you owned a business in Andover, why would you live there? These are questions that have to be asked because those houses can't be cheap.
It's so far away. I mean, I get it for people who don't mind driving 45 minutes, maybe an hour some days. But, I mean, it's way up there. It's not near anything else. And
48 minutes to get back with no traffic. Go ahead.
Think about what Dan does during football season.
Oh, I know.
Those press conferences in Foxborough, 10:30, 11 in the morning. He has to drive from Andover to Foxborough, which is on the other side of Boston. So think about how long that trip is.
But why does he live in Andover?
I never asked him. I don't know.
And again, I'm not saying why do you live in Andover? It's a cesspool or a hellhole.
Right.
I'm saying, Andover is obviously nice. I get why you'd want a house there in that it's a nice house in a quaint area and you get some property. I understand that. So let's all be logical here. I'm not saying why would you live in Andover? It's, the Bronx in 1976, where looks like Iraq after a bombing. I'm talking about and I know, and I went out with someone one time that lived in Andover, and I couldn't. I'm like, what are you living in Andover for? Especially when you live around a big city, commerce should be in the city or around the city.
Well, the point of living near a big city is you live near a big city. So why would you live so far away from the big city that you want to live near?
I got news for you. Andover is way nicer. If you drove through Andover, you go, it's way nicer than Newton. Mm-hmm. But you know why you live in Newton and you pay to live in Newton is because nothing's overly far from Newton. If you're dealing in a city, you could walk to a train and get to the city right away. You could get to the city 20 minutes on the train. Into the Back Bay and stuff. I'm not Fenway, even less time. But Jesus Christ, these places are far away. But Groton, I understand. No one lives in Groton, but Groton's closer. People live in Andover. They I guess commute to the city. I didn't see any body of water. It's not like you're on the on the ocean. What the hell's going on over there? I'm dead serious. Remember when Flynn lived in Gloucester, and
yes.
I understood it. He didn't have to come in very often, and Gloucester's cool. Gloucester's a unique area. You're on the water. There's fishermen and things of that nature. It's nice.
Well, we've got a study in contrast in that back room right now. Ryan Beaton, he lives in Plymouth. It's historic. It's on the water, and then you got young Nicholas, who lives right next door to Andover in Tewksbury, which is essentially the same town.
But I'm going to guess that Tewksbury is a lot less affluent. I'm guessing Nicholas has been pushed out by finance.
Nick can handle it. He can handle it.
Nick was in Marshfield when he was taking death money, will money, and buying mini bikes.
No, it was a toss-up between Tewksbury and Swampscott. I think those were his two choices.
Well, those are radically different towns, though. And
are they? Thanks, John.
Tewksbury, told me he does live next to a salvage yard. So
yeah. Nick doesn't have any money. You can't get on Nick. Nick's doing okay. Nick's right where he needs to be. What is this? Vasil? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Go ahead.
It's Vasil. You guys, he lives in Andover because he has kids, right?
Yeah, they're out of school, but yeah.
There you go. Well, it's because of the school. That's why.
Hey, guess what? You're wrong. because neither of his kids went to public school. How about that? Kaboom.
It's still Phillips Academy is right there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So he moved to Andover
No,
because
I'm
it's
not
right
saying
next to
he
Phillips
did, but-
Academy?
Well, not the Canopy Lake, but you know.
No, Phillips Academy. So he moved.
Yeah.
Well, his daughter didn't go to Phillips Academy.
I don't know where they went, but you know.
Well,
That's
so that'd be
why
like me
people
moving
move
to
there.
Groton because Milo goes to Lawrence Academy. I mean, come on.
Now, do you want something that's really going to anger you, Fred? Mm-hmm. Here's Colby, who just tweeted us and said, I get from Andover to Fenway Park in 20 minutes.
No, you don't.
You're acting
No,
like
you don't.
You're acting like it's in the Berkshires.
No, you don't get from Andover to Fenway in 20 minminutes.
So
No, you
I'm
don't.
making-
You don't get out of Andover in 20 minutes.
So I'm making it
My
up.
ass.
I left at 4:50, and I got to that game at 6:20. No, it took me more than an hour and a half because I got to that game at 6. 4:20. Yeah, I got to that game at 6. It was ending. I'm not kidding. It was the last batter of the top of the 7th.
Like, once you, like, let's just say for the sake of argument, you could get from Andover, straight shot, no traffic, down 93 to Storo in 20 minutes. It's another 20 just getting from Storo, like, to the park.
Okay.
If it's a game day, unless you're going to Fenway just for funsies. When
Oh,
there's no
no.
Sunday morning at 6:30.
No.
Sure.
Sunday morning at 6:30. I don't care. You know how long guess how far I live from Fenway? Let's say 5.5 miles.
Yep.
Do you know how long it takes me if I drive? Not even there. The hospitals, Longwood.
Right.
You know how long it takes to get to Longwood? It can take 40 minutes for me to get to Longwood. Yeah. Route 9, whatever. But once you get in that hellscape of those hospitals, no one's maneuvering through there. Once you get out of here with that nonsense.
Plus, with all those pesky ambulances, I don't know what they're doing around that hospital area,
I'll
but
tell
there's
you.
tons of them in
You
and out
have
of
to-
there. Got to pull over. Like, oh boy, here we go.
Does anyone think Longwood
Another
is
big emergency.
Does anyone think Longwood's a well-designed area?
Oh God!
Because I know you're joking about the ambulances, but the ambulances are not the issue. Why is it all right there? Why did they build all the hospitals within 2 feet of each other?
One-stop shopping.
They can share like scalpels and stuff. Hey, you gotta run next door to Beth Israel. See if they got a scalpel.
Yeah.
There's a
I'm fresh out.
Yeah, there need to be. There's no internet or anything.
I'm out of sutures. Go next door to the Brigham and get me some sutures.
They have these wonderful hospitals, but I'll tell you, and I believe me, both my kids were born in Beth Israel. You go to Children's when your kids got something wrong with you. There's Dana-Farber, I know, is right there. They're wonderful hospitals. It's a horribly designed area.
And this is true up until a few years ago. One of the reasons why Boston Public Schools started canceling schools so quickly for snow emergencies is because of a backup on the Riverway, Jamaica Way, on a really bad afternoon storm. This is probably 10 years ago now.
I remember this.
Where kids were stuck at school or their daycares or whatever until 7 o'clock at night. They called everybody and said, all right, storm's kicking up. Everybody, we're going to close early. We're going to dip, and people could not move. They couldn't get from the Longwood area back down into any place that you're trying to go along there, whether it was Jamaica Plain, Roslindale, West Roxbury, any of those, cities like going toward the southwest. And for years afterward, they were very quick on the trigger about canceling school the night before. Like, we can't afford one of those Longwood nightmares again for people trying to leave the city.
Yeah, the bottom line is you're not getting to Fenway. Maybe if you leave at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you could conceivably get there in an hour.
Colby?
Yeah, that's not true.
Defend yourself, Colby?
When Milo went to high school in Waltham, and I lived in Newton, it could take me 35 minutes to get to Waltham because it was by Bentley, not by here, not right off the freeway, by Bentley. That's not – you're not getting anywhere that fast. I got news for you in the city. Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, so I commute to Andover, to and from Andover every day. In the morning, I leave about 5:30 in the morning, 5:35, and I actually get to Raytheon Technologies in Andover. It's right off the highway, granted, but I get there in 25 minutes, and that's from Wollaston.
Where's Wollaston?
Wollaston's in Quincy, North Quincy.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Go ahead.
And then on the way home, I leave at about 3:15 in the afternoon, and I can get back to Quincy at 4,
fair enough. Yeah, because you're leaving at odd times. I'm talking about most
Reverse
people.
commute, too.
Reverse commuting.
You also just gotta know how to commute through the city, Fred. You know?
Oh, get out of here! The freeway's the freeway. I mean, know how to commute through the city. 95, 495, or 95 and 495.
Try it the opposite way. Try
You're
going from
495. That doesn't go anywhere near the city. No wonder it's taking you so long.
That's right.
You big dope.
That's right. You got to know how to maneuver through the city. I know how to maneuver through the city. You get on 95, and then you take 95 to Route 2, and then you take Route 2 to 4. Oh, I know all about it. And then you get on 495, and then you get off 495, and then there's just a million stop signs. But get through the city. I'm well past the city, baby. I'm nowhere near the city. I'm leaving the city. The minute I leave my house, I'm getting further from the city.
You know what's funny, too?
Moving through the city.
So my mother-in-law lives in Wollaston, and, like, it's close. I mean, we're not that far. Like, just zipping on over to her, it's that last 2 or 3 miles. Like, once you're off.
Yeah, 93 is great.
And well, no, great. It's not. 93 sucks.
I know.
But let's say it's clear sailing. Once you're off, now, where in Wollaston? It makes a difference, like another mile or two. And like, now you got to screw around. Now I got to get on Quincy Shore Drive. But when you're leaving there, you can't leave the same way. Now you're dealing with traffic, and you got to think about where you're going to jump on. Do you want to get on before or after the split and all that stuff? So if you've got it all figured out and it works every day, God bless. I believe you. But I also am kind of with you, Fred, about those who choose, not out of necessity, but choose to live that far away from the city, who still have things to do in the city on a regular basis.
And the thing is if you have a job that you can leave at 5:15, my son's game started at 5. I don't know, like, there's not an option to leave at 5 in the morning. You want me to camp? I mean, did you want me to, like, go out there after the show and just camp out at this Brooks school and sit there and camp?
Why don't you bring a good book?
Just sit outside?
Yeah.
I'm sure the school would love it. Who's this creepy 50-year-old just sitting around reading a book on the grass?
You get one of those folding nylon canvas chairs with a little sun canopy on it. I've got a couple extra.
Yeah,
you can borrow one.
They'd love it. I'm sure that every school with a bunch of minors would love a strange old man sitting around just setting up a canopy. Why are you here? Oh, there's a baseball game in about 5 hours. Okay.
I brought a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just having a picnic. I'm waiting for the baseball game. I'm a big fan of the team. Yeah. Oh, your son's on it? Yeah. Is he playing? Nah. I'm just getting in the mood.
Oh, is he playing today? No.
No, he's not playing today. He'll be there, but he's not playing today. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit in the lawn. And I'm a huge fan of the team. I can't get enough. It drives me crazy. But anyway. My point is this, is that if you live up there and you commute to the city, God bless you. God bless you. Because it was that old Dale Arnold thing. People told me, well, Dale Arnold lived.
Oh, boy. Could not get enough of where Dale lived. He loved that house.
So Dale Arnold apparently had this house far away, and he, loved the house. Mm-hmm. But he would complain because, this is, according to reports, he would complain all the time about how long it took him to get into Brighton. And so then I'm thinking, well, how much can you like the house if every day you're in this hell and you just live in your car? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you rather have a house that's not as nice where you're not in the car for an hour and 45 minutes each way?
Fred, when he got home and took a look at that koi pond in the backyard, that made it all worth it.
Well, those are cruel. Koi ponds, as we know, are cruel. That's not a good way to keep fish. But because then all Sunday I would just think about how I have to go do it all over again the next day. So Friday you're doing it. Saturday, fine, you get a reprieve. Unless you have to go into the city, but then you get a reprieve on Saturday. And then all day Sunday, right around, like most of the year when it gets dark at 4 or 5, the minute it gets dark, you're like, well, now I got to go do this all over again. I got to go live in my car.
Here's Colby again. Fenway to Andover is currently 30 minutes. I believe you if you're going from Fenway to Andover at this hour. However, if you're going from Andover Town Hall to Fenway right now, it's 57 minutes and climbing.
Exactly. That's why Dan's here at 5 in the
I
morning.
have a map app too, Colby.
Yeah, it's not like I'm making it up. I just think it's funny. It's like you're making. No, it took an hour and a half.
People seem offended. That's the thing. People seem offended that we're bringing this up.
Well, I was offended that it took so long to get there. I like you don't know how to get to the city. I get on Route 9. There's no other way. There's no other way to get on 95.
Why are people upset about this? You know you live far away. You know it takes forever to get into Boston. You chose this. Why are you so pissed off? You did this to yourself.
And I'm not mad at how long it took to get there because I chose for my son to go to this school, and we realized, look, he takes a bus from Lexington, but it's baseball season. That's very difficult. But so it's part of the thing that I have to do. I just don't understand why you would do it every day. That's the point I'm making. Because that seems like a town people live in. Like Groton, you don't meet people that go like, I live in Groton and then commute into the city. Groton seems like there's nothing there. Like it's like really the middle of nowhere. And then those places exist. But that's not as hard to get to as Andover. Because that's Route 2, and then if you can miss the traffic at that traffic circle, then you're okay. I don't know. The whole thing is crazy. Because Hudson's not that bad to get to, and that's 25 miles from my house, but that somehow doesn't take that long. Everything's far. I don't know. I would manage to live.
Why don't you drive faster?
I managed to because I got felonies. I got warrants. I can't be pulled
riding
over.
dirty.
I'm riding dirty, baby. I got a big Coke spoon full right under my front seat.
Not on a chain around your neck?
No, I got a roach clip around my neck on the rear view.
Oh, there,
mirror
yeah,
with a feather.
View.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, very good. Well, again, Andover seems like a lovely town, and obviously that was not the point I was making. That it's not. The point was Dan Roach is insane. They have a great school system. Okay, well, his kids didn't go to school there. Well, he went to Phillips Academy, so he moved to Andover. Didn't he grow up in Andover?
He grew up on the North Shore, yes.
Yeah, I think his kid went to Phillips Academy because it was close to his house, not because he moved there for Phillips Academy. Anyway, whatever. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with everything that happened last night.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports.
Pretty good look at a three. Takes it and makes it.
Celtics Magic.
Pretty good look. Jumps into a three and he hits it.
Pre-game at 8. Tip-off with Brandy and Max at 8:30.
Tatum, step back, squares, hits.
Celtics playoff basketball is presented by Charles D. Sheehy. The Boston Celtics, the Orlando Magic. On Boston's home for every Celtics playoff game. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey! We're Dutcher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life. With Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I've had 2 hair transplants long time ago. And I would be completely bald if it wasn't for those hair transplants. And I really would be. I would be completely bald. I was thinking about that when I was in the Bahamas. I'm very fortunate to have had those.
But instead, you're walking around with these thick, luscious locks, and girls are coming up to you and you're like, please, I'm with my daughter. I can't.
Yeah.
My daughter actually said she saw women looking at me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said that's because of my breasts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, hey, this guy's got a lot of balls walking around. But I had to have her shave my back the first day that we were there.
Did you shave the chest at all, or did you just go full?
No, you got to leave the chest
fur.
there. You got to
Full
come
fur.
on. You got to leave that. That's the calling card. That's the siren song for the babes there. You need the chest there.
Once you make love to a woman and you are laying atop of them.
And by the way, I can't wait. But go ahead.
It's something. It's like you can't even. It's
Right.
not at all like those melons you've been using.
No.
Even if you microwave them for a long time, it's different. The hair, it's very masculine. It gives off pheromones.
Oh yeah.
It's almost It's almost
It's a musk.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
All right.
Trust me, ladies.
NBA playoffs last night.
Boom.
As the
Belichick's hairless, by the way.
Did he shave everything?
Belichick doesn't seem to have hair when he's on the beach.
But it's probably all that like nondescript old man color now. It's not quite white. It's not quite gray. It's just flesh colored. He
just seems like he's got skin all over the place. All right, go ahead.
Like pigs have hair. But you can't really tell.
It's a good point.
Translucent.
It's all the same color.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point.
Old man pig hair.
I like that you're getting
He
in the
lives
spirit
up the
of things.
street, old man pig hair.
Everyone's getting in the spirit of things.
I was on board of not liking Bill Belichick long time ago for the very simple reason. No, I just think he's a bad guy. I think he's just a bad person. I think he treats little people poorly, has for a long time.
And you have to recall, Hardy has worked with the Patriots.
Yeah.
So, trust us, we know enough people, super fans.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a good guy.
This isn't me like, oh, you just get mad because the reporters get shut down at the press conference. That's a one out of the 10 things I could list. But a lot of them are, told to me in confidence.
Yeah, he's a dick. I don't know how much we could tell you this. He's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. Like, he's not a good person. Like, that's why I'm enjoying this as much as I am. Yeah. And no one's come to the rescue.
But he's really funny, Fred.
Yeah.
He's really funny. He's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
Him and Bobby Knight.
Oddly enough, a lot of people are silent. Yeah. No, seriously, a lot of people are silent over the last couple of months. The people who hold up that big blue wall, you haven't heard from them recently.
Bill We Trust?
Yeah.
All those people?
They come after me. It used to be that I was jealous of him, which is ludicrous. And second of all, it was, and now it's, I hate him because I'm a Jets fan. And it's if I hated every coach that coached against the Jets, I would, first of all, I'm not two. I think he's a bad guy, and I'm very much enjoying his horrible decision making.
Yeah,
and that kill piece they did on him. I mean, I had a woman come up to me at my son's game. I was there for 5 minutes. She said, once I found out you were on the radio, I started listening. She goes, "Oh my goodness, did I enjoy the stuff about Bill Belichick?" I swear to God that.
And
happened.
I understand why certain women would, find it, because they look at that thing and they're like, "Oh, that's disgusting." But all the guys who defended Bill for years, even the most ardent supporters, look at it and it's just, what are you doing? Why you can't? There's no defending it. There's no like saying, "Hey man, you be you. That's awesome. Good for you." No, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's just
that was it at the beginning, but as I said, last couple of months, all those people very quiet.
Well, you know what?
Very quiet.
What I also thought about is that, like, even my ex-wife and I, and we've been separated for over 2 years, we haven't introduced our kids to anybody. Like, we haven't brought any, not that that's a bad thing, but it would have to be like a long-ass relationship, and especially if there was that big. First of all, there just couldn't be that age discrepancy, because I'm as old as the age discrepancy is.
Right.
It would have to be a newborn, which would be highly illegal and not in my wheelhouse. And so, like, it's so preposterous that I would do any of this.
So you haven't introduced anyone to your kids. It would probably take even longer for you to introduce a person to your football team. And here she is out there on the field. Hey, guys, come on over, meet Jordan.
Or to go, I'm dating someone 50 years younger than me, which couldn't happen again. But, like, and go, like, here, like, let's make a big, like, public to-do about this and start, like, putting up Instagram photos. It's idiotic. It's preposterous.
But she's good for him. No, she's ruining him.
No.
She's ruining his legacy and his reputation.
And another Seriously. And another funny thing is, we're starting to hear, at least I think you are too, Artie, and Sean probably, that there were hints of this, not with her, but like hints of him not having the most control in this certain area. Him being a little vulnerable towards the opposite sex for quite some time, like a little bit of a pushover in some ways.
Oh, I got it. It's interesting you bring that up. I got an email saying something like that, unsolicited, last week.
We'll talk to Felger. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah,
I mean, Felger's talked about it in the off-air show.
Yeah.
We've talked to reporters that certain females got on the field. Got access that other people didn't get, not reporters, but just there was he's had a vulnerability, let's say, that is now being outed as being very bad. And I bring it up again because I am enjoying it so much.
And again, this is just email. I have no idea if any of it is true. Someone said that after either during or afterward, when it appeared things were not going well, Jordan had offered up access to CBS as like a behind-the-scenes look for her pageant push for Miss Maine.
Oh, good.
It's like, here, maybe we can make nice, and I'll give you guys an exclusive behind-the-scenes. Unfortunately for Jordan, the news story about the Miss Maine pageant is that the first transgender woman is competing in Miss Maine. So something tells me that might trump her story. In terms of like what people are going to be paying attention to.
Slow down. So not the transgender part.
Yeah.
But so you're hearing that Jordan, when she knew things went poorly with the CBS Morning News, when she found out when she finally discovered in her great PR-driven brain that might have gone sideways?
From someone at CBS, I heard that once she realized the interview did not go well, she offered exclusive behind-the-scenes access to her campaign for Miss Maine. That's from an email
What
I got
planet
yesterday.
is she? Does she have a brain injury? What? Okay, I know this thing with my famous, the weird thing that's happening that you're interested in didn't go well, but went as well as it could for them, but not for us. If you'd like, there's a chess tournament in Andover. If you would like to cover it, I'll give you unfiltered access to that. They wouldn't cover that Miss Maine pageant on the local news. I don't know if Portland, Maine news would cover the Miss Maine pageant. Who knew there was a Miss Maine pageant? Boy, what a savvy young PR. Is that real? She's dumb. Just dumb. So much for her philosophy.
Again, just a report. It's just what one person emailing me who heard this from someone at CBS. So maybe just
everything else at CBS
hey,
has been.
Hey,
true.
do you want to behind the scenes look as I get ready for Miss May? Seems perfectly plausible.
Yeah, well, it does seem plausible because she seems like a total idiot. Is what it sounds like.
It's been interesting, this whole exercise. Just watching and kind of feeling, and I feel the same way, that whereas we were supportive at first and we're certainly trying to ingratiate ourselves to her because we really wanted that photo on the beach of Bill as the copper tone baby, and her dressed up, like a puppy dog pulling his bathing suit off, and he's looking behind him, exposing my white unsunned bare bottom. It's kind of gone the other way now. Now, I can't stand either one of them.
I know.
Well, she's an idiot. I'll tell you, just the idea that she sat there with the CBS News and told them, like, their business. Yeah, Harry Smith, that's the guy who interviewed me for the Gorman thing. When Harry Smith calls you, you're like, oh, my God, Harry Smith. This guy's been doing this for 40 years. He's been on national television. He's done all these great stories. What an honor. And he's such a nice guy. And he's like, oh, Mike said these great things about you. And you go, what do you need? What do you need? You tell me what you need. And I'm been on the radio. Look, I'm not Harry Smith. Look, what do you need me to do? I'll do whatever you want. And it wasn't about me. It was about Mike. But, Harry called my cell phone. Mike had given my phone.
You trust them to know what they're doing.
Well, I defer to them to know what they're doing because they'll make me look better than I'd make myself. They're not looking to do a hit piece on them.
That's the best.
And that moron just went and fumbled the thing, like really just shot the scene up. It was like the end of Scarface, including hitting on the sister.
Oh.
Yeah. CBS, man, boy, did they luck out.
They
They came off
lucked out.
as the good guys, and they got the hit piece that everyone wanted. It's fantastic.
Well, it wouldn't have been a hit piece. It would have just been like him saying, yeah, I like to do things that make me happy. And then even if they said, yeah, we're really happy, if he went, yeah, we're really happy, then that would have been it. And then it would have been fine. It would have been still, people would have thought it was weird, but it would have been fine. She's so dumb to be in the room yelling at him and screwing around with his microphones and things like that. I have an agent. Like, my agent has never, ever, ever gone to any of these things. Why would my agent have anything to do? She cleans up messes, like, after the fact. And I'm not comparing what I am is I'm saying when someone's better at something than you and they're leading the way, you have to defer to them. You don't, especially when you have no idea what you're doing. It's so dumb. Boy, was that poorly handled and glorious. Anyway, things did happen last evening.
We'll find out what happened last night.
Not so much.
Well, some of it in the headlines, and the rest of it afterward.
All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics will play Orlando tonight at TD Garden. This is Game 5 of this first-round playoff series. Green lead at 3-1. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 8 and the tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Drew Holiday out again with a strained hamstring. Cleveland finished off a sweep of Miami last night, 138-83. Out west, Golden State beat Houston again, 109-106. Warriors lead 3-1. Damian Lillard out for this season and probably all of next season with a torn Achilles. And the Red Sox open up a 3-game series in Toronto tonight. Garrett Crochet will pitch. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what happened last night?
All right, we got NBA playoffs going on right now. The Golden State Warriors had a 2-1 lead over the Rockets of Houston. Golden State was home last night.
They have lead up the far sideline. Takes the heave at the buzzer. It's no good. It's no good. The Warriors hang on. Final score, Golden State 109. Houston 106. And the Warriors have taken a commanding 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and what Golden State Warriors game wouldn't be complete without some Draymond Green shenanigans? A foul that kind of looked like the one that was it Caldwell Pope who got wrapped up with somebody earlier in this year. Horford kind of like took him down from behind.
Oh yeah, that was Tari. He poked the ball away. Tari Eason poked the ball away from him, headed up court, and somehow
about the same spot in the court. Yeah,
somehow Draymond got tangled up with him and knocked him down.
Unfortunate.
It just always seems to happen to him.
Resulted in a foul and a flagrant, but Golden State would go on to win, and now. Liberal use of the word commanding, but it is a 3-1 series lead.
No, it's commanding. 95% of teams with 3-1. That's why the Pistons got so screwed. But
I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron James championship. They were down 3-1 in that series
finals.
To Golden State
in the finals. Came back and won. Yes.
So
right.
Easy.
Well, it has happened, but not many.
No,
95 times out of 100, it doesn't.
Yeah,
but. As we had made the point earlier, if now that the Warriors, since they got Jimmy Butler, they play the Timberwolves the next round. You got to like them in that series. And then they play the Thunder, and who knows? Who knows?
Barn burner in Miami last night.
Rebound grab by Haywood Highsmith. Allen poked it away from behind. Jerome, right side, Hunter. 3-ball. Got it! The Cavs have a 40-point lead.
Yeah.
That was in the second quarter.
I question the effort of Miami.
It was 72-33 at halftime. 72-33 at halftime of an elimination game.
Cleveland would extend their lead to 60 at one point in this game. 60!
Now, the best part was, and I saw the end of this, they just kept pouring it on. There was no mercy. There was no backing the ball out and taking the 24 seconds.
Well, no,
it was something
no.
else.
Why would you? I mean, you got to play the game. I mean, it's not like it wasn't like a 10-point lead with like a minute left, like where you can just dribble it out. Well, that wouldn't even happen.
Cleveland, and just very quickly, Cleveland completes the sweep there. The final score 138-83, 55-point win for the Cavaliers.
Everyone that could have played for Cleveland played double-digit minutes except for one person. Everybody from Cleveland that could have played. There was Garland was hurt.
Yeah.
So, but everyone else, this Chuma fella only played 7 minutes. Everyone else played double-digit minutes in that game, which has got to be nice because if you're Cleveland now, you only played really 3 games. And so, I mean, that doesn't count as a game. And so, now you can go about your business. Now you can, you're very rested.
They're going to get Indiana next.
Yes, and they will dominate that series as well. And because what's interesting is what's going to happen with Milwaukee because, it looks like Lillard's career could be over. He's certainly not going to be very good when he comes back, and he won't come back next year. If he does come back, it won't be very good. So they're going to have to trade Giannis.
Yeah.
And
no, this is a rebuild. Lillard's injury, although it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, they probably would have lost the series to Indiana anyway. But now it's certainty, and Lillard is going to be 35 in July. He's going to miss all of next season. So when he comes back, he'll be 36 years old.
Right. And they say Kobe in his 30s had this injury and wasn't the same when he came back. But the interesting thing about it is the best point I heard made was Oklahoma City, when they lost Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, everyone went, that's it for them. That's it for them. Well, Durant went to Golden State and won championships with them, but Harden and Westbrook haven't won anything. And they were able to accumulate picks in their small market. They were able to accumulate picks, get picks and turn it into the number 1 seed in the West.
That Paul George trade, man. They got, I think, 5 first-rounders for Paul George from the Clippers.
So if you're Milwaukee, you got to sit with Giannis, and Giannis is going to want to leave anyway. And so you sit with Giannis, and you go, look, let's work it out. Where do you want to go? How do you want to work this? And, you get that haul, and then when you're in Milwaukee, it sucks. You lose, a guy that was loyal to your team and a guy that won you a championship, but that's a pretty good trade-off. You got a championship with him. And now you move on to the next phase. You'll get a huge haul for him.
The other part of it is the PR. They have no worries about PR. I mean, they drafted Giannis. He stayed. He won a championship by staying, and now they're doing him a favor. So much of this kind of deal is the PR backlash that you suffer.
Right.
You can't blame anybody in Milwaukee for doing this.
Well, what's the best thing that also happened?
I mean, you made a big
Doncic
swing.
trade.
Yes.
The Doncic trade makes this 100 times better because no matter what they get back, because they're not going to trade for a veteran they're not going to try to make a comparable trade. They're not going to try to get like a top 20 guy for Giannis. What they'll do is they'll want picks, and so anything you do is going to look so much better than that Doncic trade that it's great.
And the other part of it, they made a big swing by bringing in Damian Lillard as a running mate. I mean, all the things they've done leading up to now, you can look at and go, okay, I understand that. And the same thing, if you trade Giannis for 4 or 5 first-round draft picks, you understand that too.
Right, and a little bit of noise coming out of the Lakers' loss to the Timberwolves about the conditioning of Luka Doncic.
Really?
Michael Wilbon brought it up. Do you want to pay a guy $350 million that can't play in the playoffs because he's too out of shape? That was what the question was.
And how do you even fault LeBron? I mean, it's like it's not on LeBron. He played the entire second half, and I think yesterday I heard that he played the final 37 minutes of that game.
Yeah,
so 24 plus the last 13.
Yeah,
is that
played 46 minutes for the game?
Well, Kendrick Perkins had a stat that he is averaging 17 points in the first half and half that in the second half. Like he's being played too much.
Yeah,
because he was good defensively in the second half of that game because he's got to do that because Doncic doesn't play defense, so he's got to do that. He's being played too much. Like he just is. He falls apart. Like he can't keep it up on. He's got to play both ends of the court, and he can't do that as effectively with all these minutes. He's got to have his minutes a little bit restricted. So I don't look for them to do much in this series. And then that whole Doncic thing comes back up. Because could you imagine if the Lakers went on like a run? Oh, boy. They might burn the building down in Dallas. But if they lose in the first round, because I just started to hear little questions about the conditioning of Doncic again. And that's interesting to me. All right, we'll be back. When John and I were gone, there was a whole thing going on over here that I've been told about that we need to hear about, and our opinions are needed, Jonathan. So we will sit tight and wait for this to be presented to us. We'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Celtics and Orlando Magic will play at TD Garden tonight in Game 5 of their first-round playoff series. The Green lead at 3-1. Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell will have the pregame at 8. The tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics will once again be without Drew Holiday. Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable. Last night, Golden State beat Houston 109-106. They lead the Rockets 3-1. Earlier, Cleveland swept Miami, or beat Miami 138-83 after taking a 72-33 lead at the half, and they completed a 4-game sweep of the Heat. Milwaukee's Damian Lillard does indeed have a torn Achilles. He is now not only out for the rest of this season for the Bucks, but he may miss all of next season as well. Red Sox open up a 3-game series in Toronto tonight. Garrett Crochet will start. And at the NHL playoffs, Florida now leads Tampa Bay 3-1 in that first-round playoff series after a 4-2 win last night. Dallas beat Colorado 6-2 to take a 3-2 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Yes, we are Toucher and Hardy. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We're in the Town Fair Tires studios. Very quickly, Nicholas put together a video on our Instagram page at Toucher and Hardy of Cedric Maxwell. He's all pissed off at Bill Simmons about the documentary about the Celtics that's out now. And he doesn't feel he's being, well, and he's right. I mean, he's not being fairly represented in that documentary. And it's up to Bill Simmons to respond. I think that he doesn't have to necessarily respond through the show. But if Bill Simmons would like to talk to him, because I like The Ringer. Alan Siegel no one's been better to me than Alan Siegel, and he's a writer for The Ringer. I love the guy. So I got nothing against them. It'd be great to have Bill on with Cedric and they could hash it out. But I don't think Bill Simmons wants Cedric Maxwell mad at him. I think that's something that he would like to talk to him about. So whether it would be off the air, certainly I'd prefer it on the air. But if you would like to do it off the air, I would suggest that happen. But you can see Cedric. He's pissed. Because it happened last Friday. I wasn't here. But Hardy was saying right off the bat, Cedric came out guns blazing. He did not like the way he was represented in that documentary. Now, I don't watch these documentaries. You know why? Because I've lived here since 2006. It's enough. I don't need to watch. I had to sit through that dumb Dynasty thing. I'm done. And I don't doubt it's a very good documentary. In fact, my ex-wife watched the Red Sox one that's out now.
Interesting.
Yeah, because of Milo. Because she wants to see like how baseball operates. But I'm like, I've had it with this stuff. Because Adam's in love with this book about New York baseball. And it sounds like an interesting book. But I just can't. I can't read about sports. Mm-hmm. If I have time to read, I have to. You know what I need to read? The classics.
See, you're the opposite of George Costanza. Unless it's about sports, I just can't keep interested.
Well, yeah, I am the opposite. I'm actually quite the opposite. It's enough with the sports.
You're not very bright, are you? No, I'm not.
I'm not saying I'm bright. It's just enough with the sports. All right. So, what did you do when we were gone that we need to? You need our take on?
Well, leading up to the draft, I kept hearing. I thought, you know what, we should have a draft around here. And just because Fred and Wallach weren't here didn't mean we couldn't have some fun with it. So we decided to, starting on the first day when it was me, Michael Holly, and Ryan Johnston, draft teams that would compete in a battle royale, fight to the death, Sports Hub death match.
Okay.
It's not a cage match. This is just after nearly 16 years of this radio station. A lot of people have known each other the entire time. Fred, you and I knew each other prior to the Sports Hub. Felger Maz have been on together since day one.
And they don't like each other.
I mean, that thing almost was a death match in week 2
Right.
of 16
They
years.
got that out of the way right away. Me,
No,
took
you
many
linger.
years of resentment to finally
Linger for a while, yeah.
until the backstab double cross.
I mean, but Wallach here since day one. Bertrand, Zolak here since day one. Zolak on the station on BCN prior to the Sports Hub, working Patriots games. So a lot of resentments have built up. And if it really comes down to it, and you need to circle up with and huddle with, let's say, a third of the staff, what would be the best team? What team would come out on top?
So you're fighting to the death, and then so you're getting it. And so I take it there were rounds. How many teams were formed?
So the first 3 teams, and each team ended up with 7 combatants.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
There's
There's that many people that work here.
Really?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
And so you wanted us to guess who was the first pick.
Right, now I will tell you this. Day one, first 3 rounds were only the on-air, in-studio people, 6A to 6P.
Oh,
those were the
geez. That is
only
slim
options
pickings.
available to you.
Oh, so Joe doesn't count?
On day one of the draft, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
That's hard.
All right, well, Zolak had to be the first guy taken because he's the biggest.
One would think, but with the first overall pick, Michael Holley chose Mark the Beetle Bertrand.
Why? Why?
Because one time, many years ago, at some bowling alley on the Cambridge-Arlington line,
I remember this.
Holly was about to get his ass kicked.
And
by,
Bertrand stepped up to the guy and was all kinds of angry. I remember this story.
maybe more than one guy, and these guys did not want to fight once Beetle got up and went full Quincy on him.
Bertrand was a lot heavier back then, a lot bigger. I remember that.
And Bertrand, when he starts yelling and arguing, you can't shut him down or quiet him down, and he just...
This is not a verbal altercation. This would be a physical altercation.
But Holly insists that he was about to get his ass kicked. Beetle stepped in, and those guys wanted nothing to do with Beetle. He wants Beetle on his team. He was chosen first overall.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess that's just of appreciation. Like he felt he owed it to him for saving him.
Yeah.
Holly's a little guy, so I can imagine that.
Bertrand was an
very scary.
intern for Holly at that point.
Ryan Johnston did select Scott Zolak second.
Yeah, because Zolak would beat everyone up.
I was suckling hind teeth in this thing. Thank you. And had to pick third.
So Joe Murray can't be one of them.
Joe Murray can't be one of them. So who left would you select if you're picking third overall? Beetle and Zoe are already off the board. On-air people only 6A to 6P.
Well, me. I would pick me.
Okay. Now, listen, don't get upset, okay? But based on...
It's a pretty low-hanging fruit. I don't think any of us are... John looked offended at that.
What about Big Jim?
There you go.
Oh, Big Jim. I forgot about Big Jim.
That's right.
Yeah. You took Big Jim. Smart move.
I took Big Jim with the reach. I think Big Jim's got some rage.
Yeah.
Big Jim, he's got those... He better live up to those tattoos.
Fred, you'll be happy to learn that Michael Holley did pick you with his second pick, fourth overall.
Well, now, was it open to everyone at that point?
No.
Oh,
no.
yeah. All right. Well, that's not such a great compliment.
Ryan Johnston went with, or RJ went with Maz with his second pick. I was stuck with Tim McCone. I thought, you know what?
I forgot about McCone.
Yeah, McCone. I mean, he's got endurance, I guess, because of the marathon.
Well, I would have taken McCone, maybe even over me.
And to round out day one, Michael Holley chose me. So his team after day one was Beetle, you and me, Fred. Ryan Johnston had Zolak Maz and John Wallach.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Which left me with Big Jim Murray, Tim McCone, and Mike Felger.
I got picked.
I'm
excited.
So give me the teams with just the with not counting Joe Murray.
Beetle, Fred, Hardy. Zolak, Maz, Wallach. Big Jim, McCone, Felger.
That's interesting because the Zolak could beat everyone up.
Yeah.
But he's got the weakest next two. So it is interesting. I forgot about Big Jim, and McCone is in good shape, but he's a little guy. How many of these guys roguing it up? How many of these guys are doing the wrestling around? What's that called again? the martial art.
Mixed
that everyone
martial
does?
arts?
No,
Jiu-jitsu?
jiu-jitsu. How many of these guys do jiu-jitsu?
Right.
It's chess. It's physical chess.
Yeah.
Now, day 2, things got really interesting because producers were available along with Joe Murray and every other
Okay,
on-air
well, I
person.
take Joe Murray's obviously the first off that board.
No, T-Bone's first off that board.
No, Joe Murray killed T-Bone.
I don't know.
Joe Murray fought. Like, Joe Murray's like a fighter guy.
T-Bone's in the best shape of anyone in this building.
It doesn't
You guys
matter,
are both
though.
wrong. Michael Holley, with his first pick on day 2, went with James Stewart.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Again, he worked with James back in the other building.
Okay, look, no one here. Joe would fight. All right, here's the deal. Scott, if pushed, would fight. Scott could just manhandle anyone. Joe might fight. I'm never fighting again in my entire life. There's too much to lose. So you're Joe not being the first pick out of these things is ludicrous. Joe would fight, and I think Joe's been in a lot of fights, and Joe would dominate. Like, if you had Joe and Zolak, you wouldn't lose. Joe and Zolak could take care of everything. And let's be honest, they would take care of everything.
Now I'm trying to remember if it was RJ or Dondero who is making this selection here.
Oh, good.
May have been Dondero who, with his
I was ready to crush the Red Sox.
his first pick on day 2, with Joe Murray still on the board, went with Kendra Middleton.
Oh, someone's got a crush.
Yeah, that was Dondero.
That was Dondero.
Someone's
interesting.
Okay, so I'm just salivating. I don't know what I didn't know what to do.
Why was that? What did you do when he did that? Did you just let it go? And
I
just
kind of ignored it.
You got to just ignore it and
Yeah,
just go like,
yeah.
okay, cutie.
Well, there was some talk of her being a black belt of some kind.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So between
What is he so desperate to be interesting? He's trying to just. Let's pick the little girl.
Okay.
Well, so he made a mockery of it.
Out of Joe Murray and T-Bone, who would you take?
I would take Joe Murray.
And I would take T-Bone.
I took T-Bone.
Yeah.
I took T-Bone.
I'm telling you,
T-Bone can't move his neck. He's so muscular.
it doesn't matter though. Joe is. I would if they're not. They're probably equal strength, and Joe like fought like a lot. Like Joe,
It does have size.
you don't seem to be understanding that. Like the willingness and willingness to like bar fight, like the street fight.
Here's the question, because I don't know T-Bone as well as Hardy does. Hardy, is T-Bone willing? Does he have that psycho gene in him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll take
I think
T-Bone.
Joe would kill T-Bone. I think Joe. They both beat me up, but I think that Joe would kill T-Bone. I think that Joe could take Zolak. Might be able to take Zolak. I think I'd give a big nod to Zolak, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
It was a really tough choice. But I also had T-Bone in that back window when we were making that round. He was staring at me.
All right.
I'm not.
All right.
I think Joe's way scarier than T-Bone. If look, you never know. Like, you know, like we've had MMA guys in here that you would think were total pussies, but they're super quick and know how to fight. So it doesn't really matter. But if Joe and T-Bone were both coming up to me and I had to fight one of them, I'd fight T-Bone. I'd lose.
Well, Joe Murray was still on the board for Michael Holley. He ended up taking him with his 5th pick.
Oh, you didn't take.
Great
you didn't
value.
find some other female to throw in there.
Well, no, that was Mark Dondero, who followed up his Kendra Middleton pick with Tyler Milliken.
Maybe I'm ill-advised.
So at this point, his team is just completely dead. They're just lying.
Can I ask
in
you
a
an honest
heap of
question?
bodies.
Were you getting frustrated?
I was
with
getting.
him?
I mean, like,
Did you express your annoyance?
I know I said I know we're having fun, but this is stupid. You've now got. You already were handed Wallach from the day before. No offense, John, but then in order to beef up the ranks, you go with Middleton and Milliken.
I'm from the streets.
Yeah.
I grew up
No,
in
wait.
Rockland.
Why was he doing that? It had to have been pissing you. I know you. It had to have pissed you
Yeah,
off.
he had.
Did you not feel comfortable telling him it was pissing you off?
I was trying to have fun with it, but I was getting angry. I get angry over the unimportant things. You know me.
Yeah.
No, I would have been like, I would have called them out, and I would have been like, all right, you've ruined this, and I would have just stopped the bit.
At 12, could you please step in?
I'd be like, I know this is stupid, like, right, but like, we're like killing a little time before the draft. Can you just like participate?
That's exactly
Can you
what
just
it
like
was.
try? like a little bit, like at least go through the exercise. Look, this isn't the world's grade. I'm not telling you we're reinventing the wheel. I'm trying to kill a little time. We're getting phone calls. Can you just play along? Zolak, hello.
Yeah, I'm playing along. I'll slap the hell out of Joe Murray. I'll just throw him a steak bomb, and he'll just dive on that thing like a dog. I'll just run around him and slap him.
Can I ask you an honest question, though? Because you have heard me saying that you were by far the biggest and strongest.
Yeah.
Would Joe be the guy you think you would have the hardest time with? Or would T-Bone be the guy?
Oh, T-Bone.
Why?
There you go. See?
Just so physically fit. I would tire Murray out. You know?
But he's so big. Like, he could match you with size. That's the thing.
Yeah, but see, it's like that one bad tackle that I could just tool with this guy. You know,
dude, I think you'd kill T-Bone.
T-Bone.
I would kill. I would be fun to literally kill people at the station.
Do you? Well, you obviously would see.
Oh, I got a top three. I have a top three list.
Go ahead.
In that building.
Go ahead. Oh, who you want to? People you want to kill. Who you want to kill?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of them's gone. All right, thank you.
yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I had your back, Scott, in this. You know that.
So I already had T-Bone at that point. So again, the part-timers.
Milliken and Kendra. Thanks a lot, Dick.
Yeah.
It's hard enough trying to make this go. But
Kilometers.
You had to be just like, thanks.
Oh, it gets even worse. It gets even. I mean, you can imagine, it gets worse.
Like playing along, dude. Like, all right, just play along.
I took Leroy Irvin with my 5th pick.
Hey, that's.
Oh, you're allowed to take Leroy?
Yeah, I said all part-timers, producers, everybody.
That's a sneaky good pick that late.
Thank
I
you
like
very
that.
much. Which pissed off Michael Holley. He went Cerrone Battles second.
Leroy's like, I didn't know you could take Leroy.
Or not
Leroy's
second,
like,
but with the next pick, Michael Holley followed up my Leroy Irvin pick with Cerrone Battle.
Cerrone Battle's little. Here's the thing about Leroy. He's like ropey, like he's strong. So I would say Zolak, Murray, T-Bone, Leroy would be the 4 toughest guys.
Yeah.
And then maybe Jim Murray, I don't know. Because he's certainly big.
He was left with his final pick, and he took Dondero because the pickings were really slim. I'll give you Dondero's last 2 picks of this draft. And again, he's already taken Kendra Middleton and Tyler Milliken.
What could be worse than those two?
How
Fred,
about-
you want to guess before he says it?
I don't. No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm already. I'm frustrated with him, and I wasn't here.
We got the look from Hardy. It's going to be worse.
How about Ryan Beaton and Alex Barth?
Maybe I'm ill-advised.
I mean, sorry,
Well,
Beaton, but he's 112 pounds.
I know.
It's good that he was in the spirit of things. Well, good
Jesus.
for Dondero. That had to be a lot of fun.
And then I ended up this. I think the absolute steal of this.
So Dondero's team's horrible. All right, give me
My last 2 picks.
Yeah.
Dan Lifshatz and Skaz, Joe's producer.
I have no idea what Skaz looks like, and that's not an insult to Skaz, but I just don't know. All right, so give me the final teams.
All right. The Holly team was Beetle, Fred, Hardy, James Stewart, Joe Murray, Cerrone Battle, Mark Dondero. Versus the RJ/Dondero squad of Zolak, Maz, Wallach, Kendra, Milliken, Beaton, and Barth.
All right, so he ruined that one. That could have been the best one, but that's ruined. All
And
right, go
then
ahead.
I thought I was in a really bad position on day 1, but my squad rounded out like this. Big Jim Murray, Tim McCone, Mike Felger, T-Bone, Leroy, Lifshatz, and Skaz.
Final round. Fight.
So if you take Dondero's team out, which you do,
right,
then you have a very interesting situation.
Some good depth to your team, Hardy.
Yeah, you do have. You have some very good late round picks.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a deep squad.
Yes.
Yeah, it very much is. All right, well there you go. I don't. I'm guessing Joe Murray was the last. Is the most person who's been in a fight the most recently. Is what I'm guessing. So I go Zolak, Joe. You guys swear by T-Bone. I don't know. Sure, T-Bone.
He's muscular and has that psycho gene. I've
never seen him be a psycho. I'll take your word for it.
Well, I just had to ask Hardy.
So
about
I
that.
take those 3 would be the top of the mountain. and then you have a mishmash of people. I think you guys are way underestimating. I apologize.
T-Bone's really strong, though. He can lift 60 pounds over his head just like this.
Listen, he does have Costanza strength, of course. All right, Mandelbaum strength, if you would. Look at Shador Sanders. Everyone's very upset about Shador Sanders, his slide. Do you know he has the third highest selling jersey out of all rookies?
Oh,
in the last 2 days, it's true. Can you imagine?
Good God.
Can you imagine? He has the third highest selling. That's something else. Cleveland's just basking in wealth now. All right, so we will play some of these thoughts that people have on the Shador Sanders situation in just a moment.
And make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback. Clueless. All that, no idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many
they say we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterback? They don't. He's saying whatever he's saying behind closed doors. What's he saying? I want to be the guy. I should be this. I should be that. Deion's saying he's the best player in the draft. He's best quarterback, second best to Travis Hunter. Best quarterback. Who is it? What quarterback out there didn't think they should have been a high first-round pick?
You got to chill.
All right, a bit of a pivot here. We can get into the Shador Sanders stuff, but breaking news.
Apparently, this was released by TMZ yesterday. Just now seeing it. Jordan Hudson went completely off the rails during Bill Belichick's CBS interview to the point where she stormed out of the room and delayed shooting for 30 minutes. Sources familiar with this situation tell TMZ Sports. Belichick had agreed to a sit-down.
What's it been like to have these different sort of photos? There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
He doesn't follow.
No. He's unaware of what's going on.
So
it's bad, Bill.
He'd agreed to sit down to promote his new book, The Art of Winning, but it turned into an L, at least PR-wise, when his 24-year-old girlfriend interrupted the interviewer asking how Bill met, which we've heard that now a couple of different times.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this. No.
Okay. Our sources say Belichick only arrived at the interview with Hudson. No one from his publishing company, the University of North Carolina, or any other rep was with him, which was a bit of a head-scratcher to CBS producers on set.
Because usually when people come in, they'll come in with an entourage, and the entourage will sit in another room. Usually you would come with an agent. If not an agent, you'd come with a PR person. You'd come with even a makeup artist, some people. Someone who's doing the junk. There's people that you come with, usually not your 24-year-old girlfriend.
At one point, Hudson got so heated, she stood up and walked out and wanted Bill to follow. It's unclear if Coach agreed, but the blow-up delayed the whole interview for about a half an hour. Told once things calmed down, the interviewer, who was spooked by the whole encounter, elected to wrap things up quickly and end the awkward experience. We're told the higher-ups...
No, read the next line.
We're told the higher-ups...
No. As how the dumpster fire of an encounter got edited. We're told the higher-ups... I don't know why you left that out. As for how the dumpster fire of an encounter got edited.
Because that's opinion in an otherwise fact-based piece by TMZ.
There's no opinion there. It's true. As for how the dumpster fire... Guys, this would have been something no one knew. This doesn't sell one book, by the way. No press is bad press. Yeah. Oh, no. There's bad press. This book is boring. It's a boring thing. It's about winning, and it's something that you would go around. I think you write this book to get speaking engagements, basically.
There's good stuff here.
Go ahead.
Okay. As for how the dumpster fire of an encounter got edited, we're told the higher-ups at CBS News and Sports had to get involved to figure out how to salvage it. And while a second interview was scheduled to go down at a later time, it was ultimately scrapped. The whole ordeal also isn't sitting well with Bill's employers. We're told folks at UNC are now concerned about Hudson's influence on Belichick's tenure as the head football coach in Chapel Hill, especially with her essentially taking on a role as his manager. As a source put it, there's a, quote, growing sense this could become a problem.
I wonder why. That they took something that, I don't know, 999,000 times out of a million would be just we're flying in and doing this thing, and how's your relationship? I'll tell you what, it's great. You're not on that Instaface, no. But, I'm college coaching now, and, I think it's important to have a social media presence. It's the way things that are going.
Rudimentary interview 101.
But that moron woman of his just lit the whole thing aflame. I told you when I saw it.
Correct.
I know. Look, guys, I'm stupid, but I know how this stuff works. She made it. It was a 1, 2, 3. It was playing a game of tiddlywinks. You just show up, you do the interview. They're not looking for anything out of you. They're just going to go, hey, the relationship, which, by the way, is her job. Her whole thing has been putting you on social media, you two together dating. It's asinine that they wouldn't ask about that. It's completely insane. You're there, as a matter of fact. So if you don't want them to talk about it, how about not being there? But to be there and insert yourself into the interview and now finding out that you're walking him out of the interview to CBS, you have no idea what the hell you're doing. What's your experience in this? Banging an old guy? How the hell are you ever orchestrating this interview? Again, seekingarrangements.com. You can go find arrangements with young women and pay their rent and have sex with them all you want. They don't show up to your work. If you're a lawyer, you can have sex with a 23-year-old, 24-year-old woman. She doesn't have to come into court the next day and sit next to you and yell at the judge.
Not talking about this.
I mean, he's out of his effing mind, and she's an idiot, which I knew from the very beginning, which is why the whole philosophy situation was hysterical to me. You know why she didn't want to talk about how they met? Because it's stupid and wrong.
No.
Now I don't think they met on a plane, as a matter of fact. Now I think that they met online. And I think that that's how they met. I don't think that they met on a plane.
Yeah,
I think that they were next to each other on a plane on a trip that they took together. Why would she be flying first class? Her mom owns a sex shop in Providence. What first class ticket does she get?
Not talking about this.
Why was she sitting on first class with Bill Belichick on a plane?
And why else don't you want to talk about it? Because the story is not true.
Because it's a cute meet. It's like a meet cute. Like if the story's true, it's cute. We met on an airplane. We started talking about philosophy. That's why it was so funny when I found out about her. Because none of that, I don't believe any of that's true. You did not meet on a plane. I bet you that you met on a site, a matchmaking site.
Correct.
And not Hinge and not Raya.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not...
Is what I'm venturing to guess now at this point. If you're so uncomfortable about how you met, that's a great story. How'd you meet? We were flying and we got to talking and she was interesting and we just kept in touch and then it blossomed into something. Like once my prior relationship ended, we caught back up and.
But let me ask you something. As somebody who was on these sites.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm on seeking arrangements. Yes.
If they were to meet on a dating app, doesn't that mean Bill would have to have a profile on a dating app?
I'm not talking about a dating app. I'm talking about something that is implicitly for the situation that they are in.
Correct.
Oh.
I was getting
sugardaddies.org.
I was getting a bunch of texts from people, texts from women, as a matter of fact, emails. There's many. I know guys that have done it. There's guys. I done it? I swear to God, I put me on a lie detector. It doesn't matter if you think I'm right or wrong. I've never done it. I would not pay. Look, I have enough trouble believing a woman wants to have sex with me as it is. If there's a financial arrangement involved, I just assume they were disgusted with me. I'd never be able to perform. That's the honest to God truth. But this isn't about me. I think that this is not by accident. I don't think he met a 21-year-old, was she like 21 when they met? I don't think he met a 21-year-old flying first class. They just happened to be next to each other in first class in an airplane. I don't believe that. I don't believe any of it.
Wasn't there a whole subplot to that too, where like he wrote like a little note to her in her book,
in her
or something
philosophy
like that?
book?
Yeah, right.
So they really kind of built that whole myth up, if that is truly what it is.
I don't believe it's a myth. I don't believe this is a hiring situation here. I believe it
was a mutual decision.
That's right, for them to start dating. And
I don't think that he's necessarily like it was set up from the beginning that he was going to like necessarily pay for anything. But I think it might have been a website for younger women looking for successful older men. No. Again, I'm not inferring at all that she's being paid to do anything, or implying or anything. I don't think that's true.
These things that are out there that absolutely 100% exist that none of us have any experience with, but they're there, and
They're there and they're used a lot more than you guys are
much,
aware.
That makes so much more sense.
They're around and they're used by guys. I've told you guys off air. A lot's going on that I'm just finding out about that, and it's going on in your backyards.
Oh boy. That it's this. It's kind of like that puzzle piece that clicks into place. Like,
I will tell you this: knowing where you guys live, that you guys have friends and neighbors that have lives going on. I'm not saying most of them or all of them, but certainly one of them has got stuff going on in their life involving relationships that would shock you.
Oh, I know which one too.
Well,
you're
in everybody's business.
Let's all name them.
But you know what, Hardy?
You're in everybody's
You know
business.
what, Hardy? Is that it's shocking how many, and it's shocking. And none of these guys are like friends of mine or anything. It's just like what I hear secondhand. It's shocking how many. None of it's wrong. It's just like if you go into a restaurant and see something happening, your assumptions are probably correct. Like if you go into the city, like to the seaport, on like a Friday night, and you see some things that look not so on the level.
It's a bit of an odd couple.
Yeah.
Chances are, now, am I saying that it's a prostitute and a John? I'm not. That's a possibility. Am I saying that that maybe this situation was they knew getting into it, that this is what the other party wanted, which is completely fine.
Correct.
That is completely fine and not illegal and not immoral, in my opinion, at all. But let's be honest. What's more likely? He was on a plane. She was flying first class in a plane, first of all. I don't think she's from great wealth. And he just happened to be sitting next to her on the same plane. And they got to talking. He gave her a number. And then like a year later, they started dating. Or him or someone in his camp was poking around the internet. And found something that maybe, because, I mean, that's the only thing that I can think. Why would you not want that story told? The story's been told. It was in the New York Post. Is it because you don't want them investigating it? You've told the story. Your whole online presence is your relationship with him. You're on the field at UNC practice wearing a wrestling bedazzled robe. You're doing these things. Like why don't you want them to talk about how you met? To stick to the book? Well, you're acknowledged in the book, so they are sticking to the book. None of it makes sense unless you don't want people digging into how you met.
Which is what an outlet like CBS would do. They would do a tremendous amount of background. So now you got me thinking that maybe they know.
You know what CBS Morning News would not do is investigate any of it. They would just go. They would go, okay.
Whatever.
Maybe someone else would investigate it, but if I was going to investigate it now, I certainly would. Now would be the time. I wouldn't have before, but now I would have. You know why? Because she handled that. She pulled a pin out of a grenade at a county fair. She was working security at a county fair, saw someone trying to take one of the stuffed animals from the Pop-A-Shot and threw a grenade at it. She turned this into it turned something that happens every single week since 1979 into a disaster. That's what she did. And he's an old fool for allowing it to happen.
Why would one of his friends step in and go?
Because his friends are all sycophants.
This isn't going to get any better. This relationship and the public view of it isn't going to get any better.
Who's going to say something to him? That Lombardi? You think he's going to say something to him?
And maybe the one guy, and I don't know the relationship well enough, so I won't even say it, but there was one guy who worked for him who doesn't work for him anymore who may have been the guy to step in and say something to him.
And I'm not sure anyone that, based on what I know about the people that worked with him, are in any hurry to get this stopped.
Yeah. It's true. The guy you're talking about, Hardy, is no longer with him.
That's
right. And I have a feeling that's the truth with a lot of people, is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people are very much enjoying this, that knew him at one point in his life. All right. Very good. That had to be brought up. It was very important. But so does the golf club. And the Sports Hub Golf Club is back, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics in Orlando at last.
He's elongating.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice. You shortened it. Okay, very good. But no, it's back, and it's on from 7 to 8.
7 to 8 a.m. Sunday mornings.
Okay, and I, if you don't know, I made the decision. I had a neighbor I was very good friends with who convinced me to join his country club, and I did, and I had a very good time. But then things got away from me, and I can't drink anymore. So now I don't really know what to do there. So I'm in a bit of a
Play golf?
Yeah, no, I know, but I don't know like what I did there. Like I'm like uncomfortable. Like because I partied there for like a long time, and now I don't really know like
Sure.
I'm trying to navigate. It's the last thing I'm trying to navigate like in my sober life. But you, Hardy, you ventured out to that area of Newton, to the club I belong to.
I have been there, yes.
Yeah. But did you feature it on the golf club?
Well, I not only featured, let's just say, an integral part of your club, Fred, but another member, or shall I say, integral employee of a different golf course, and somebody who kind of, I don't want to say overseas, but is connected with both of these people. It was like the Merv Griffin show. It was a 3-person panel hosted by me.
It was a salon. It was.
That's one way of putting it. Yes, and man, did we have a great conversation. Would you like to know who I spoke with?
Do you want to tell me before, or do you want me to play it?
Now, why don't you play it?
Okay. Because I don't want to. I'm guessing some big names. Here we go.
Yes.
So you can hear this on this station.
Yeah. Ryan, this first clip, is it me introducing who I'm talking to?
No, it doesn't set itself up.
Okay, I will tell you then.
Oh, boy.
Okay. On this most recent episode of the Sports Hub Golf Club, I am speaking with Andrew Ingham, who just this past March became executive director for the Golf Course Superintendents Association of New England.
Of course he did.
Now, it would be...
Now, does the government subsidize this? Is this part of having the radio license that this has to be on?
They're real worried about Doge right now, I tell you.
I can imagine.
After Matt Schaefer's done. Yeah.
Now, it would be a get just to have Andrew on, just the executive director of the Golf Course Superintendents of New England. But what if I were to tell you that Chris Donadio, the superintendent at Woodland Golf Club, is also on the show, and the superintendent at Fresh Pond, Alex Martin, the head super at Fresh Pond in Cambridge, all 4 of us just having a chinwag about grass.
Okay, I don't know any of those names, including the guy at my club. I have no idea who that is. But here we go. 4 greats in a room together,
Yep.
or at least, speaking. At least I hope you're all in a room together.
Bird, Magic,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Well, it's like the Beatles. That documentary came out of them,
Right.
doing the White Album. Like,
And me, playing the role of, who would I be?
Stockton.
Yeah, you just
Bill
serving it
Simmons.
up.
I'm the Bill Simmons
you're
sitting
Bill
down with
Simmons.
Bird, Magic, and Jordan.
Got it.
All right, here we go. Here is the salon of the greats of superintendents across the Metro West.
I guess, at Woodland, you've got the task of maintaining a golf course for private club members.
Listen, if the golf course is good, everything else is better. The hamburgers taste good. Everything is better if the golf course is good.
I don't know who mentioned stimp meter a little while ago.
Oh, boy. But, I mean, there's egg on your face if you did. The stimp meter.
Somebody mentioned stimp meter earlier, and that got me all hot and bothered.
Yeah, you know what the stimp meter is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
It's actually the amount of blood going into the erection.
No.
Oh, it measures it.
No, it doesn't.
No, what is it then?
You don't know what a stimp meter is?
Nope.
The stimp meter is a very simple device that they put a golf ball on and roll it down an incline, and the distance that it rolls out on a flat surface of the green measures the speed of the green. That's a stimp meter.
Fascinating.
You don't know what it... I'm shocked you don't know what a stimp meter is. And you know what the stimp meter read is at Augusta?
No.
They won't tell you.
Oh, really?
No, that
those greens are very quick too.
They're
those
very quick.
Tabletops.
They
what those are.
Might be rolling at a 14, but nobody knows for sure.
By the way, you can hear this live on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, you don't.
How'd you corral these guys?
It was a task. Do you know what
He had to go through PR people. He had to talk to agents.
There's no way I could get these guys live on a Sunday morning, so this was actually recorded after the marathon, after I had a very long day already.
Well,
but we did this.
It pepped you right back up
did.
and to get these guys to be humble enough to come on as a collective instead of individual guests.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, a year's worth of guests in one show.
Right.
I don't know who mentioned stimp meter a little while ago.
I should have never said it. I should have said it.
Yeah, you stupid. What a jackass, you fool. Way to mention the stimp meter, you stupid idiot.
Okay, well, yeah, it's too late. You already said it, so now I got to ask you. Do you guys actually have a stimp meter that you take out there and roll to see what the greens are rolling at?
It's in my car every day.
Is it really?
Yes.
No kidding. Okay, let's talk about a hot button issue here. Trees.
You are Matt Schaefer. Today's golf show is all about
trees.
I mean,
tomatoes.
With all that's going on in the world, this guy's got the balls to talk about trees. Mm-hmm. Listen. These trees in El Salvador.
Let's talk about a hot button issue here. Trees.
Let's talk about cheese.
Trees.
Yeah, so the city of Cambridge has a pretty large forestry department.
No kidding. Tell me something I don't know. Let's get to the facts.
And so it's not really my decision as to whether a tree comes out or stays in.
You don't have any large bodies of water nearby at Fresh Pond, owned by the city of Cambridge.
The Fresh Pond reservation is Cambridge's drinking water supply. Our irrigation water does not come out of there.
How about the different chemicals and stuff you guys are using these days? The fungicides, the herbicides, all that stuff.
What?
How much has that changed in recent years?
What is going on
Hold on
here?
a second.
What is happening?
Beaton is trying to edit this to make this somehow sound boring or inaccurate. The no large body of water related to Woodland, not to Fresh Pond. There is a large body of water at Fresh Pond. It's Fresh Pond,
right?
Okay,
yeah.
So really bad. I know what you're trying to do to me, Beaton. Don't make this show sound less than.
Can I ask why?
'Cause it's greater than.
Are you even interested in this?
Oh yeah.
Are you seriously interested in this?
Oh yeah, and especially the tree thing, which Beaton cut out. His completely unworthy fingers. Where did you ever get the gall to think that you had the requisite skills to edit me, young man? The tree question is a good one because more and more people say, I want trees. And then they take down like 1,000 trees at one of these old golf courses before a U.S. Open. Why? Because they also want the course to be as the person designed it. And these trees
Rush wrote a song about that.
Have been growing for 100 years. And it's like, no, the course isn't even supposed to look like this, but now it does. So you got to take trees out sometimes. A lot of times you got to take trees out. Think you want more trees on a golf course?
I honestly could not think of anything.
Don't say it.
Remotely as boring as this to discuss it in any way,
blame
shape, or
Beaton
form.
and
You
the
know
edit.
what, though? You cut off the most interesting part about the herbicides. Had we got into that, then I think your opinion
You got me all pissed off about the trees thing, so I'm not saying I like it,
Well,
but
this
at least I'm
isn't
paying
the
attention
trees.
now.
This is just an early warning, which I understand is about the environment. But they have a song called Trees.
Oh, I thought you were talking about subdivisions.
No,
Sorry.
subdivision.
Yeah, cutting down trees for the suburbs and all that
That's
stuff.
not what this song is about. Distant Early Warning would be more appropriate than this.
I'm not a big Rush guy. I like this song, though.
All right, well, then turn it down. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a minimum we have zone 2 restrictions.
Oh, he has
At a minimum.
What's a zone 2 restriction, Hardy?
Shut up, Wallach. You don't even want to know.
I do. I wouldn't have asked. If I didn't
at
wanna
the
know.
minimum. At the minimum, we're in the
What's
zone
a zone
2.
2 restriction, Hardy? I don't think you know.
Don't tell me about even when we get into zone 3.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know the answer.
Listen to the full show on 98.5thesportshub.com or on the Sports Hub app. It's available for download.
Do you know the answer or not?
Yeah, because I was there. I was talking with Chris and Alex and Andrew.
You asked him what a zone 2 restriction was?
We talked about it.
Blind Scott, you love the golf show. You've sent many emails.
Yeah, I've listened to that episode 3 times. One of the things you might not know about Andrew Ingram is he's actually a golf professional. And the numbers have been down across the greenskeeper schools in Massachusetts.
Because it's so boring. Good point.
No.
All right. Well, because it sounds like an awful job that's really, really boring.
It's a great job, and I had a great time talking with all those guys. Thank you for being on the Sports Hub Golf Club.
Well, you certainly are going for the largest audience you can get. There's no question. All right, look. I'm a little ashamed of Adam for not knowing the trees. Apparently, Ryan did a terrible job. This whole thing is just a big mess.
Ryan was just out to get me.
It really was a gotcha thing. It was like what CBS did to Jordan. All right, when we come back, speaking of failures, John had his big trip that I predicted would be awful, and I think I was proven correct. We will have that information in just a moment.
98.5 The Golf Club.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics will take a 3-1 lead into Game 5 of their first-round playoff series with Orlando tonight at TD Garden. Drew Holiday remains out with a strained hamstring. Jaylen Brown is once again questionable. Sean Grande will be rejoined by Cedric Maxwell for this one. We'll have the pregame at 8, the tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Last night, Cleveland finished off a sweep in Miami, or of Miami, by beating the Heat senseless 138-83. Out in San Francisco, Golden State beat Houston again 109-106. They now lead the Western Conference's 2-seed 3-1. Milwaukee's Damian Lillard does indeed have a torn Achilles. He's now not only out for the rest of this season for the Bucks, he may miss all of 2026 as well. Red Sox open up a 3-game series in Toronto tonight. Lefty ace Garrett Crochet will start. And San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle has signed a 4-year contract extension worth $76.4 million. He is now the top-paid tight end in the league. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines the day after the Red Sox win and get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Boston plays here.
Pritchard, half court, it's in the air. Go! Again!
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sport.
Him and I were gone last week. John left a day early. Nick made a great video. Actually, an artistic video with no audio. And it's just John with timestamps throughout the Thursday before he left. He left on a Friday, the Thursday show. And what's Johnny, you can see he's completely checked out. He's not paying attention to anything. He's stretching a lot. He stands by the tree, plays with his balls. Like, it's a whole thing, whole dance that I know very well because I know John very well. But the great thing about it is it's regardless of the vacation. Like, so they went to the Dominican Republic and it was like cold, and so you figured that's a great vacation. That was earlier. Like, this wasn't this last one. But he's dancing around and sighing and looking out the window, even if he's driving down by himself to Philadelphia to his in-laws' house. But this one was especially bad because I knew he was venturing into hell. John was taking his twin freshman boys and his wonderful wife, and the goal of the trip is his sister lives in Luxembourg, and they were going to go there, which obviously is a good thing, and you should see family, and who cares? If the kids have a good time, this is what life is about. Got to see your family. But that's not it. No. Jonathan had the bright idea that let's fly to Paris and take our twin teenage boys around Paris, where they'll love all the food and they'll love all the history and all the art. And let's shove each other all into one hotel room, all four of us, and have the time of our lives. And before he left, I said, John Wallach, you're going to be miserable. I go, no one, including you, is going to like any of this stuff. And we had listeners like, Fred, you're a dick. Like, wait. And I'm like, look, if you have kids that are cultured enough to appreciate these things, God bless you.
John Wallach, oui.
I took my daughter to a place that had water slides and Shake Shacks, and
I did.
I know what I'm doing.
Did that over Christmas. The trip to the Dominican had a lot of that.
I take my kids on a trip apiece. Yeah. They have separate spring breaks, and I took my son to spring training because he likes baseball. I took my daughter to Atlantis, and just because it was warm and there was good places to eat. So
John,
I'm smart enough not to take them to Paris, France. So, John, let's leave Luxembourg out of it because you get a pass on that.
But the trip to get to Luxembourg was the beginning of the things that we're about to talk about. I left Thursday night, okay? Worked on Thursday, did not sleep because I had to get to the airport. I thought we were going to go through JFK. We didn't go through JFK, Fred. Want to imagine where we went through to get to Paris? Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Flew to Atlanta. That's 2.5. Had an hour-and-a-half layover, then flew from Atlanta to Paris. You want to guess how long that flight was?
8 hours?
8 hours.
Okay.
8 hours. So I'm running on no sleep. We fly to
Well,
Atlanta.
why don't you sleep on the plane? It's so easy.
You flew to Atlanta, and the worst thing you can do is track your flight at any point, because when you fly to Atlanta and then you fly to Paris, the plane goes directly north again and takes a right turn in New Jersey. So I went 3/4 of the way back to Boston to take a right to go over the Atlantic.
Right.
Okay. Our plan, once we landed in Paris, was to take a bullet train to the western part.
You should have taken a bullet in your mouth.
So, a place called Metz, M-E-T-Z. My sister's going to pick us up there. It's 45 minutes back to Luxembourg from there. It's Easter weekend in Paris. Every bullet train is booked leaving the city. So now
you didn't think to book the train tickets ahead of time?
We didn't know how long it would take us to get through customs. We didn't know,
Right.
The timing of it
Sure.
was tough. So
Right.
we're in the air, and I have internet access, which I paid for, and all of the trains are booked. So what do you do now?
Flying Frontier to Paris.
So now we're in a situation where if I want to get to see my sister, we have to rent a car. Okay.
Oh, Jesus
So
Christ.
we landed at Charles de Gaulle Airport at about noonish. It took us about an hour and a half to get through customs, and then we are now, it's 1:30 in the afternoon Paris time. Keep in mind, I still haven't slept. So we rent a car, and we drive to Luxembourg. You want to know how far that trip is?
And it's
From Paris.
And I take it it's easy because Paris is the same side of the road, or is Paris
Same side,
Okay,
same
yeah,
side
yeah,
of the
yeah.
right
All
side
right,
of the road.
Go ahead. All right.
It's a 4-hour drive.
Nice. So you worked 2.5 hour flight to Atlanta,
Yep.
hour and a half layover,
Yep.
8-hour flight to Paris, hour and a half in the customs line.
Yep.
Then you got to rent a car and drive for 4 hours.
4 hours to Luxembourg. Oh, did I mention I was in row 52 of the plane? Which, of course, that's a quick on-off.
They don't have 52 rows.
It was a 232 plane, one of those bigger
Yeah,
planes.
yeah.
So I'm sandwiched.
That's not
in the
even
back,
that big, but
up
yeah.
up against the window, row 52, seat A. It's fantastic. So
Now, was your family with you?
oh yeah, they're all with us.
Okay, so you're by the window. Are the kids? Is it you and your wife, and then the kids are in two of the middle seats?
Yeah, it was my son and I, the two, and then two of the three right across the aisle from us.
Okay.
My wife and my other child.
Okay.
So 4 hours to Luxembourg. We're up about 24 hours straight. For me, it's even longer.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a great time in Luxembourg. Luxembourg, beautiful city.
How
lush
are the children
countryside.
reacting to the travel?
They were actually much better than you would think.
Okay, so because
They didn't lose it.
Right.
They didn't lose it. They understood.
How did your wife handle the not being able to get on the train?
She was asleep for the period of time where I was trying to book. She was able to sleep on the plane. I, of course, was not. So, yes.
What are you doing for food at this point? Because with the 14-year-old boys, they're always hungry. You get in the car, you got a 4-hour drive.
Oh, we stopped at a rest stop. Glad you asked that. Good, healthy stuff. We stopped at a rest
Well, they're
stop.
in row 52 on the plane. I would imagine there was quite a smorgasbord available to them.
No,
Did you have the steak or the lobster?
Well, why not both?
They serve you two meals on the plane. The second one, they ran out of meals before they got to us.
Of course,
row
they did.
52.
Yeah, because you're a scum. I mean, why would you
We're
need
all the
anything?
way shoveled in the back of the plane. So we get to Luxembourg. Great time, great
Right.
city, great country, whatever. Now it's time to go back. So 4 hours in the car back to Paris. Drop the car off at the airport and take a cab into the city. Which, by the way, the cab is $70
Sure.
to get from the city to the hotel.
Right, which was how much your plane ticket cost. It was sitting in row 52.
Exactly. So we get there. Now, the hotel room. Glad you asked. Hotel room. We thought we would have 2 queen-size beds in one room. It turns out, if you've seen the video posted on my Instagram page, John Wallach 24, there isn't room for 2 beds in my room. There's room for 1 bed and barely that much. So there are 2 rooms. Good news, we get to the lobby. We're like, oh, we have 2 rooms for you. Fantastic. Both those rooms were exactly like that. A queen-size bed, a wall 6 inches away on either side. And the kids don't want to sleep in the same bed together. They have no interest in sleeping in the same bed together. They're elbowing each other in the face for most of the trip that we're in Paris.
So they're not sleeping at night.
Oh,
So
I thought there were like 2 tiny beds in the other room.
No. No, same queen size bed in the other room.
Yeah. So they slept
No,
next to each other.
They slept next to each other. Two 15-year-old boys. You can imagine how well
We
that-
should have one sleep with you and one sleep with your wife. What problems could have arose?
I know. So
there's a lot of Freudian people
by
right
the
around
end,
there.
now the one saving grace we had in the kids' room was there was a long hallway before you got to the. We didn't have my
Right.
wife and I. So one kid wound up sleeping in the hallway for 2 of those nights.
I need a queen size bed just for myself. You should have stuck the boys with the mom. Is that a drop down menu option, by the way? The twin boys get instructed by the mother.
So did they? They slept in one slept in the hall on
One
the floor.
slept in the hall on the floor for 2 of those 4 nights. we were
Okay,
there.
and so when you're going around Paris, are they enthralled with the city? Are they does the cuisine delight them?
No, the cuisine. Now you knew the answer to that before you asked the question.
They didn't love the cheeses and
No.
the various fowl.
No, we had
Escargot?
I will say this: the hotel. Neat, clean, whatever.
That's great, John.
Continental breakfast. But the
There was no bugs.
But the point is, the food downstairs. Usually, one of them is a very picky eater, but he ate everything that was there.
Right, because he was forced to. Like when you're in jail,
Yes,
yeah, you got to eat what
exactly
they
right. You
serve
have to eat. So,
Right.
yes.
Okay, and then where did you take? Did you?
Okay.
You walk them around the city?
We bought tickets to what was called an on-off bus, which
We're aware. Yeah.
So we did that. But it took about 15 or 20 minutes to walk from the hotel to the on-off bus.
Right, and then what sites did you see?
Well, we saw the Louvre. We saw
Now the kids. What piece of art were they marveled by the most at the Louvre?
We were literally in the museum for 3 minutes.
Oh, good.
Before both of them started complaining.
Yeah, well,
3 minutes.
Well, listen, you hadn't gotten to the abstract impressions.
Right. Look, all these Italian abstract artists.
Right, and
I
then-
had one kid. How much longer?
Right,
How much
right
longer
away.
are we in?
Right, because they're fans of art.
At least the tickets are cheap.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Well, actually, the one good thing we did,
He
you know that
blew all
line-
the money on row 52.
You know that line outside the Louvre that's around the concourse? That's just for security. We actually thought ahead this time, bought like a tour, quote unquote. You're able to bypass the security line.
And so how close to the Mona Lisa, which myself included, every idiot, it's the only painting anyone knows, so they all have to go in front of the Mona Lisa.
I'd say I got within 25 yards of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That
And then-
picture online kind of details it appropriately.
And then so you go there, and how long? And the kids are enjoying that immediately. And then so they're miserable there. And then at what point do you hit up the Eiffel Tower?
Okay, that was the last day we were there.
Yeah, you saved that for last.
You don't blow your load on the Eiffel Tower day one.
No, that's the cherry on
last
top.
day. We waited in line for an hour and a half.
Now, why?
Why did we wait in line an hour and a half?
To accomplish what?
To accomplish going up and saying that we've been inside
You
the
got to
Eiffel
do
Tower.
something. You're in Paris for the whole day.
Because the Eiffel Tower was built so people could go up to the top.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to see Paris from the top other than the Eiffel Tower.
Famous landmark, Fred. You
Right.
gotta go.
Because you can't just, you have to go, but you could go and look at it.
Oh, we did that already. We did that earlier.
I saw the picture.
The necessity of getting into it and climbing it.
Yeah.
That's like when people go to St. Louis and they want to get in the arch.
Did I mention? Well,
But why the hell do you want to get in
I
it?
know.
It's a piece of art. Like, why do you have to be inside of it?
Did I mention?
I like this painting. Let me climb through the canvas.
Didn't take the
David, Michelangelo's Davidson right there. Let me see how it feels to be in there.
Yeah, let me grab onto that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I got to be in the Eiffel Tower. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So
I went to the Eiffel Tower, but I'm like, what the hell do I need to go up to the top
Took
of the
the
Eiffel
elevator
Tower
right
for?
to the top, Fred.
Yeah.
Just to say I was there.
Which isn't even that tall. So you're like in like a six-story building.
And then I remember I took a picture, and if you take a look at the two pictures I sent, one of them looks exactly like Boston in the Charles River. Looks exactly the same. I could have taken it from the Hancock. It
All
was
right.
great.
Well, yes, there are higher buildings in Boston than the Eiffel Tower. Yes.
Rolex rental car.
Yeah. And then the trip back was a lot of fun, too. The trip back, we went through Detroit, Fred. We flew 8 hours from Paris to Detroit, row 47. This was a 242. We had the 4 seats in the middle.
That's the best kind.
It was great. So,
especially when you have to go to the
242.
bathroom.
Now, we had a 2-hour layover in Detroit. I thought that was enough. We wind up leaving Paris an hour late. And then we get to Detroit, and of course, you can't just go to your gate. You have to go downstairs, go through customs, and then through another security gate where you take off your clothes and go through. By then, we had missed our flight. So we were rebooked on the. Now we landed in Detroit at about 1:30. We were rebooked.
1:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay.
And we were rebooked on the 10 p.m. flight.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
we ambled up to the gate and said, we are not sitting here in this airport for 8 hours. They rebooked us on the 6 p.m. to Boston. They gave us 4 middle seats in separate rows. we were all up 24 hours coming home as well.
So this is a great memory for the kids.
Yes. Oh, the kids were lovely.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
They enjoyed it.
Je ne vois la couille, oui.
Well, it sounds like you planned it out well, and that's good. You got the kids sleeping in the hall. You're missing plane connections. You can't get on a stupid train.
We saw a lot of great memories.
How's
there.
the countryside between Paris and Luxembourg? Because you saw it twice.
Speed limit's 80. Didn't see much of it at all. It was all a blur.
John was flying.
Yeah. So
John was on the Autobahn. He was having fun.
It's scary driving around on those highways. I mean, I was doing 80 miles an hour. There were people flying by me doing.
Yeah, what kind of car did they give you?
A Citroën. I've never heard of this car before. Apparently built in France.
Well, I'm sure it's quite a machine.
Citroën SUV is what I was
Walex
given.
rental car.
How was renting the car there?
Easy. They spoke English, thank God. It could have been a lot worse.
All right. Well, look.
By the way, English, not the big hurdle I thought it would be. It actually was.
Then they
okay.
must have felt sorry for you. They must have taken pity on you. They saw how miserable everyone was.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not surprised. You were very foolish to take your family to Paris, especially on this budget. I mean, you could have saved another year and maybe bumped up to row 20 and got it on a train.
Dominican and Paris and Luxembourg all inside of 6 months. That's kind of on you.
Yeah, you got to kind of pick one or the other, I would suppose.
I think we're done with the big trips for now.
Yeah. It sounds like that was a little that maybe one trip. Then you could have done one trip like a person instead of taking two like an animal.
2 words: fly direct.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Were you Delta?
Yes.
So they put you through Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because you knew you could fly from Boston to Paris.
I'm well aware of that, and we were trying to save money, but in retrospect, like we were just talking about, I would rather overspend and fly direct in both directions.
Yeah, because you had to connect anyway, really, because you had to go to Paris and get to Luxembourg anyway.
Yeah.
So you would. All right, dude.
4-hour drive after that 8-hour flight.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm John Walla con Boston.
Well, I'm not surprised. You were stupid to go. Let's put it that way.
Johnny Wall game.
And it does give me a certain sense of pleasure that you were so stupid. All right. Caller number 10 into the contest line at 617-931-0985 will score a $100 gift card to the 99 restaurant. A great gift for mom, dad, and grads. Buy a $25 gift card in a restaurant or online and get a $5 bonus card for yourself. When we come back, Jay King will join us. We will talk about your Celtics who play tonight.
Walla qui zaborde.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right. Low testosterone. It can cause a lot of problems as you...
said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I could be even better, for sure. You know, as I'm navigating through each and every game, I'm looking forward to Game 5.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and as the Celtics play Game 5 against a physical Orlando Magic team, you saw last night Cleveland with an almost historic blowout of the Miami Heat. They'll get some rest, as opposed to the lack of rest that all these other teams get during the playoffs. But the Celtics play tonight. They are at home against the Orlando Magic. That tip is at 8:30. You'll be able to hear it here. Jay King covers the Celtics for The Athletic. He's kind enough to join us. What's up, Jay? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And here we are. What have you gleaned so far from this series against the Magic from a Celtics perspective about their team this year?
I just think it's a series where toughness is prioritized. The Magic, their defense is great. You know, obviously they have trouble scoring the ball, but their defense is built in a way that really tests the Celtics. And I would go back to last season's playoffs. Celtics didn't face a defense like this that could switch, that had size everywhere, that had power everywhere, that could take the Celtics out of what they want to do. The Celtics, they've had their two lowest three-point attempt games of the entire season, the last two games of this series. And so they just have to win a different way. And I think it's been fun seeing them try to navigate that. Obviously, they've had some challenges with it. Their offense hasn't always looked like it normally does. Actually, most of the time, it doesn't look like it normally does. But they've just kind of had to find other ways. And so that's been the challenge of this series for Boston.
And I think, Jay, what I've been impressed with is, I guess, maybe them not sinking to Orlando's level in terms of the physicality and taking the dumb penalties, but just the ability and willingness to play tough defense, which Joe Mazzulla has said, look, that's always been there. I haven't always seen it with my eyes. He has the stats to back it up. But in this series specifically, I've seen them playing really good, aggressive team defense, individual matchups they've been good at. And that's always good to see, especially in the postseason.
Yeah, it's almost like the only time Orlando scores is when Boston's offense is bad and coughing up turnovers and letting them go the other way. When Orlando's been in the half court, it's been a real struggle for the Magic to score. Obviously, they don't have a lot of shooting. They don't have a lot of threats outside of Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, but the Celtics have done a great job. They've been solid on that end. It's really come down to, can they score against Orlando? Can they do it enough? And I mean, this is a tough Magic team. I think people should be giving their defense a lot of credit because they have totally disrupted what the Celtics normally do. They have forced them to just, you know, go to more ISO ball and not spread the ball out as much as they do. They took away their supporting cast almost entirely in games 3 and 4. The bench only scored 6 combined points in game 4. Peyton Pritchard, 6th man of the year, didn't score at all, only got up 2 shot attempts. So they've done a fantastic job of limiting what the Celtics normally do. And it's kind of come down to, like, can Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown go beat their man and get a bucket?
All right.
Can Kristaps Porzingis beat his matchup and get a bucket? And not many teams can do that to the Celtics, but this Magic team, they're tough enough and they have enough talented defenders that they've been able to do it.
All right, let's talk about Tatum and Brown. I mean, that fall that Tatum took in game 1 looked scary, and then there was the wrist, but I mean, he scored 36, 37 points the last 2 games. Jaylen Brown apparently has the knee and the finger, but he looked pretty damn good too. How beat up are these guys? Really?
I mean, they're hurt. They're hurting right now. Jaylen, you can tell that he's limited physically. I think he's looked a lot better in this series than he did at the end of the regular season, but you can tell he's not totally right. Jason, with that wrist, you know.
Jay?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
He's back. I think he's back now. Sorry, Jay, you froze up for a minute there.
My fault.
Oh,
sorry.
Many apologies. and then on top of, the pain that they're dealing with, this is a tough team to play against. Like, these are not easy minutes that they're playing. You've got to guard 6'9", 6'10" guys who can really move, and Wagner and Banchero, and put a lot of pressure on the defense. And then at the other end, you've got to just, like I said, go beat your man and beat your matchup. And it's not the normal free-flowing offense that the Celtics typically have. It's just like, can you guys be tough enough, and can you guys be good enough to go get us a bucket? And they've done it so far, especially Tatum in Game 4. He was the one carrying them down the stretch of that game and carrying them for much of that game. But those guys need to be great in this series, because Orlando is doing whatever it can to take away the three-point arc and take away the Celtics supporting cast.
What did you make of the way the Cavaliers handled the Heat? Anything?
Not much. The Heat, by the end of the season, were no good. Like, they lost Jimmy Butler. They were no good with Jimmy Butler. And then they lose Jimmy Butler, bring in, like, Andrew Wiggins. That's not going to do it for you. And so I figured that would be a lopsided series. I did not expect 138-83 in Game 4. I did not expect the Heat to go out quite the way they did. But I don't think that will have any bearing on what happens the rest of the playoffs. That was just a bad Heat team. Had to win 2 straight games in the play-in tournament just to sneak into the playoffs. So, but Cleveland's great. Don't get me wrong.
I was just wondering, because it took so little effort. The Celtics are up against a physical Magic team. Imagine if the Pistons didn't get screwed in Game 2, and then they had to play the Pistons in the next round, and the Pistons are an extremely physical team.
Yeah.
You figure Cleveland rolls Indiana. It's just is the path that the Magic have, even if they play the Knicks, I guess. Is the path that the Celtics have like a more difficult? Are they going to be the more fatigued team when they eventually do meet the Cavaliers?
It's possible, and then you add the injury problems on top of it with Tatum's wrist and Jalen's knee and Drew Holiday's hamstring, which has forced him out in now 3 straight games. So yeah, and here's the thing: you got to win Game 5,
right?
Better win Game 5. Don't let this get to Game 6. Don't let it maybe get to Game 7. Close them out in Game 5. End this physical series. I thought, as the play-in tournament lined up, I thought the Celtics should be rooting for anybody
but the Magic. Is what he was going to say. I'm going to fill in for him because he froze up.
Yeah.
But he makes a very good point. The last thing you want to do,
because
all right, you broke up there, Orlando. But so you didn't you broke up and now you're back. So you ended with you were hoping they didn't have to play the Magic.
Yeah, I think they were hoping they didn't have to play the Magic because, even if it's 4-game series, even if it's a 5-game series, you get out of this with fatigue. You get out of it with guys having to play big minutes. You get out of it with, bumps and bruises. And so, yeah, I got to win this one quickly. And then we'll see the rest of the series. Like, I think the Knicks are a pretty good matchup for Boston. I think they'll be able to go at Karl Towns. I think they'll be able to go at Jalen Brunson. And I think the Pacers will give the Cavaliers a tough series. So,
you do? How many games do you think that goes?
I think that could be a pretty long one. I think Indiana's pretty good. Obviously, they went to the conference finals last year. Even though that was a sweep, Indiana was in every single game. Now their defense has been much better this season. I just think that the way they played the second half of the season just kind of got overlooked, and then that's a pretty tough team. And Cleveland, obviously, as great as they've been during the regular season, as impressive as they were knocking out the Heat, they haven't really done it before. And I want to see them against a team that can test them a little bit more.
It's interesting. While you guys were talking, I looked at the regular season series between the Pacers and the Cavaliers, and I'm sure there are a lot of extenuating circumstances, but Indiana won 3 of the 4 matchups.
Interesting.
I'm sure
Cleveland's going to get too much rest.
Yeah.
You don't want to be away from the court for that long.
Well, I don't know. I don't see the Pacers losing a game in this series.
Well, they're going to get an extra day's rest.
Well, absolutely.
One more than the Pacers.
But I will say this, the Pistons obviously got screwed in that Knicks game, and boy, are the Knicks fans annoying. I cannot tell you how much they annoy me. Oh, boy. You think Patriots fans are annoying. The Knicks are right up there. Would you rather play they're going to play the Knicks probably, 95% chance they play the Knicks. Would you have rather played the Knicks or the Pistons if you're the Celtics? He's gone. All right, let's just leave it at that.
He made a really good point. The Celtics really need to win tonight. You need to rest a lot of injured people.
Well, I'll ask you because you watch all the games for some reason. Would you have rather played the Knicks or the Pistons?
Knicks.
Yeah,
I want
agree.
the Knicks. Oh God, the last time the Celtics played the Pistons, they lost by 20.
And the
Pistons
thing is,
are playing really well.
The thing is that like obviously they beat either team. It's just the Pistons are super physical too.
Jay's absolutely right. The Knicks are a good matchup for the Celtics.
Yeah, you don't want like two super physical series in a row, especially when the second one is going to have, a legit contender for, being a top 5 or top 10 player in the league here in the next couple of years in Cade Cunningham. That's you want nothing to do with
Last
that.
thing you want
and
is
they beat him, but it's going to take a real toll if you're going
Last
to
thing
play
you want
Detroit.
is a young athletic team that has absolutely nothing to lose.
Can
They
I-
don't expect a second round of the playoffs.
I don't want that.
And I want to end with this. Here's how annoying the whole Knicks thing is that there's this they're poking fun at the Detroit media for taking umbrage to the fact that they would have won the game. I mean,
Should
it
have
be,
won the game,
Yeah,
yes.
the series should be 2-2. And they're like, well, if Cade Cunningham makes that shot, okay, fine. But he was fouled. They admitted it. Hardaway's making 2 of 3 free throws, and even if he makes 1 of 3, it's in overtime. It's asinine. If the roles were reversed,
God!
I mean, it would be
Armageddon.
It would trump the Shador Sanders thing. It would be the biggest story in sports.
Jesus.
For the 2 days. I mean, these national guys are just dismissing.
Yeah, can you imagine if Brunson pump faked in the corner, there was a no call and he missed? Oh my God.
It would be all they talked about. You should have heard the guy for ESPN calling the game on the radio. And again, I'm not a Piston fan. I don't care about the Pistons. It was so aggravating. He was so open. Brunson, oh man. All right, enough with the Brunson. I get it. Mr. Clutch, he's Mr. Clutch. No, he wasn't. He wasn't Mr. Clutch. But he got hurt and came back. Oh, yeah, real hurt. Get out of here with that nonsense. All these NBA guys magically heal up, right? They leave for 2 minutes and all of a sudden they're healed. And they miraculously come back. The good story was Michigan State when they played Auburn. That guy couldn't even move his left arm. That was the guy who was hurt.
Janai Broom, right?
Yeah. His arm was hanging by a thread, and he came out and hit a 3-pointer. That was impressive. Flexing your hand or ankle on the bench and then coming back in and running around like nothing happened is not impressive to me. You're not hurt. There's hurt, and then there's sore. I have this conversation with my son all the time. Are you hurt or are you sore? Let's be honest. How stabbing not being a Lillard was hurt. That's hurt. Let's see who's hurt. All right. We'll be back. The Eddie Trunk was fit to be tied yesterday. He's but very resigned to his fate. And everyone wants to know what Eddie Trunk was thinking. No need to pull the audio. I'll explain. There's been a big announcement that has got him.
Just consult your own notes.
You're
scribbling.
They're
on
right
there.
up here. They're right up here. I was with my daughter in the car for an hour and a half. We listened to some Eddie Trunk. Don't worry. My daughter's kind enough to ride with me on these rides.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't like she had a phone or anything, but okay.
Or earbuds or anything else.
No, she don't wear earbuds. That's nice of her. Listen, it's time with her in the car. Enjoy it. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
It'll be the Celtics and Orlando Magic at TD Garden tonight in Game 5 of that first-round playoff series. Celtics lead at 3-1. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 8 and the tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics are once again without Drew Holiday. Last night, Golden State beat Houston 109-106. They lead the Rockets 3-1. Cleveland beat Miami 138-83 to sweep that first-round playoff series. And the Red Sox open up a 3-game series in Toronto tonight. Lefty ace Garrett Crochet will start. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the new Marlboro Country Club. Limited memberships now available. Go to mccmembership.com today. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Clog drain.
and I have had many offers to become an insider. The Jets Browns game one time in Cleveland, and I was staying at a hotel adjacent to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and didn't even walk into it. That's how little it matters to me, but it does matter to some people. In fact, it was started by the editor of Rolling Stone, the publisher of Rolling Stone, and I keep wanting to say Lon Friend because that's the dude from RIP.
Jan Wenner.
Jan Wenner. I apologize. I listened to that book about Lorne Michaels, and the woman kept calling him Jane Wenner. It was like, you're not.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. So Jan Wenner. But then he said something about something that offended people. So they said you can't be part of it anymore. It's his thing. It's like he started it. It's odd to me. Like he's like, well, we're not letting in. It's something racial or something, and he's like, those artists don't mean as much to me. They weren't as important to me to interview. And they're like, okay, well, you can't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it's his thing. He's the one.
It's my hall.
Like, just then, why don't you not participate in it? All right. So anyway, Eddie Trunk, who has a show on Sirius XM, which is going like gangbusters. No offense to you, Artie, but it is. It's falling apart at the seams. But and I don't wish that upon it. I love live radio, and Eddie Trunk is on the channel that now has the Sam Roberts show and the Bennington show. I love Bennington, but Eddie Trunk's got 2 hours of rock and roll. He was feigning not know how to pronounce Outcast. He was going Outcast yesterday, just like last year when he couldn't pronounce Tribe Called Quest. He's doing it as an affectation, and it's incredibly annoying. He goes, I don't know about that artist or group. How the hell, regardless of the Rock and Roll Hall, by the way, Outcast got in. But you've never heard an Outcast song? You never heard Hey Ya? Like, how the hell is that possible, Eddie Trunk? You're in the music industry. Now, I watched those Drumeo videos, which I think are cool. Yeah, we get it. But the Drumeo videos where they play the song for the guy, and then one guy said he'd never heard, he's a drummer, and he had never heard Enter Sandman. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But to do a 2 hour show, and then he does another show, so like he does like 5 hours of radio a day about music. You've never heard Outkast?
Eddie Trunk's full of beans, and I also.
Whoa, Eddie, I did not say that. That's Hardy.
You gotta phrase that differently. It's me. I own that. Adam 12. He's full of baloney. But this is interesting to me, Fred, and I guess I'm glad you gave it the context of last year where he was mad about Tribe Called Quest. So he's choosing instead to celebrate the fact that, like, this year a lot of rock acts got in. He's going to focus on the one not rock.
Well, rock acts, but not the rock acts he wanted.
Oh, I see. So he doesn't want Soundgarden in the rock.
Like I don't. Our Foreigner and
who would want that, right?
Well, no, he liked that, but he didn't. But I forgot that Cornell was dead.
Yeah.
So when they
for a long time.
No, I know, but I forgot about it. I obviously love Soundgarden, and it's not any disrespect to Cornell.
No.
I had forgot. I just hadn't occurred to me. So it will be interesting who sings for them when they get inducted. But his point with Bad Company, too little, too late. Bad Company got in.
Yes.
And are they even going to be able to perform?
First nomination after being eligible for 26 years.
And Eddie does not like that because he does the likes of Outkast. Now, Bad Company have one album called Bad Company, and after that, I'm not positive.
The song's called Bad Company. It's the trifecta. It doesn't happen very often. Band, song, album, all at the same time.
I'm unfamiliar with Bad Company played on WRIF in Detroit, which I could not stand.
Aren't they like a supergroup? Isn't that their thing, Hardy? I'm not a big Bad Company guy.
How could they be a supergroup? They're a bad company.
Yeah, not good company.
No,
they don't keep good company.
No, Chubby Checker.
Yes, eligible for what are he? 41 years old.
Yes,
he wrote the twist. And,
Chubby Checker is in.
Yeah.
Joe Cocker.
Yes,
is in.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper. Now he was very on the fence with Cyndi Lauper. He said that's more of a pop artist.
Oh, you think?
But Cyndi Lauper and the White Stripes are newfangled. But then to him that is what, like they had to sneak Judas Priest in through a backdoor musical influence award.
Meanwhile, White Stripe's only been eligible 3 years. They're already in. He smells a rat. Is that what you're saying, Fred?
He does.
Trunk smells a rat.
By the way,
and Warren Zevon too, under the musical influence award. Why don't you just put Warren Zevon in?
Yeah, that's the weird thing they started doing a few years ago, where there's like subcategories, so they can get more artists in when you could just put them all in.
So like this is coming from a not caring about who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at all. I will call into question that Salt and Pepper are in a Hall of Fame of any sort. And I saw them perform at a Phantom Gourmet event. They played Push It twice.
Oh, God.
They were not good.
They pulled the flies, Hardy.
They pushed it real good.
NERD. They played it. They pulled an NERD.
Open and close with it. Yeah.
Modern English. Melt with you.
Yeah.
Open and close with it.
There you go.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper not good. They should not be in a Hall of Fame of anything.
What does a set list for Salt and Pepper look like exactly?
I don't know.
That
Like,
and What a Man.
Like, are they going to perform? It's going to be really annoying. I think Spinderella's dead too.
I thought she was the only one who's not.
Oh, I could be wrong. Maybe it's the reverse.
We're both very wrong, I'm sure. But
yeah,
but
someone's dead.
Yeah,
is all I know. But Eddie Trunk, he said he said I'm all argued out. He's like I've gotten all your emails, all your texts,
all your email,
and I know that you're very upset that this is not rock.
Salt and Pepper performed at the Kia Forum in Inglewood in September of 2023. The set list as follows. My mic sounds nice. I'll take your man. Get up. Shake your thang. What a man. Let's talk about sex.
Yeah, big hit.
Shoop. Push it.
Okay.
Shoop. Yes.
And a cover of the God's Property song Stomp.
Never heard that.
So they
Four
actually-
hits.
They got a few songs.
Those are 4 big hits.
Well, you are right. I'll tell you this, is that Bad Company are a supergroup.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
well,
Yeah.
you got that guy
I've never
from
heard of.
Mata Hoople.
Well, Free.
Yeah,
There's a guy from Free.
Okay.
Mata Hoople. and the great prod rockers King Crimson, who everyone enjoys.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Eddie Trunk could do a whole show on King Crimson.
All right.
I'm sure he has done a whole show on King Crimson.
So they say FM rock and roll radio standards Bad Company, which is the first time I ever heard it was when you played it. Can't Get Enough, which I've never heard.
Nah.
Ready for Love, obviously,
Yes.
I know. Feel Like Making Love.
Yes, hit.
I mean, every time I hear that, that's just thrusting. That's 2s and 4s, baby. That's boom.
Consensual.
Dun, 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 dun. That's like giving it to her slow. Da-da, da. You ever see the Decline of Western Civilization 2?
Yes. No.
When it's Stephen Town, he goes, it's 2s and 4s. It's effing. It's boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop. He's describing Aerosmith.
That was so bad.
What? Decline of Western Civilization 2 is one of the greatest documentaries ever made. You're out of your mind.
That's why.
That's literally one of the greatest documentaries.
It's so funny, but it's so gross and dumb.
Oh, it's Penelope Spheres is a really, really good director. Oh, you're out of your mind, and you're out of your depth, my friend.
I'll go back and watch it again.
Penelope Spheres.
Maybe we watch that Friday where we pregame for Bob Mould, Fred.
Okay, so this honestly,
That's this Friday?
we need to workshop for 30 seconds.
Next Friday.
Who sings for Soundgarden? Who takes over for Chris Cornell?
That's what I was mentioning. I don't know.
but we gotta come up with an answer.
I hope it's not. It can't be Eddie Vedder, right?
Oh God.
Oh no, no. Who's been? Damn it.
Is it someone famous?
Yes, they've had her. She's a
Adele.
country artist, but she's not like a contemporary country artist. And Hardy, you're a fan of hers. I'm a fan
Kelly
of hers.
Clarkson.
And I can't think of what her name is. And she's
Shakira.
She's sung for them before, and she's fantastic. Like I would pay to see her front a whole set.
Crystal
with Soundgarden.
Gale.
No, I can't think of her name.
Loretta Lynn.
No, Crystal Gale with the long hair. Remember she had the hair that went all the way down her ankles. Man, I can't think of her name.
Is it the one that I saw at Tanglewood last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandy Carlisle.
Brandy Carlisle. Thank you. Yes.
She can't.
Tina Yothers.
She absolutely can do it. She'll be fantastic.
Mindy Cohn.
Oh, Mindy Cohn.
We got Adolfo waiting on Zoom. You guys want to
lot
break?
of
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So when we
let's-
come back,
let's run with this for a couple more minutes.
yeah.
then.
When we come back, we agreed to do something in a meeting.
Why?
Apparently, long ago.
As a show, we actually approved this somehow.
And no one really recalls it,
No.
but Adam swears it happened. So Adolfo's on the phone, and he is going to interview someone he's absolutely in love with. So this is happening. So why not? They're popular and they seem like good people, so we'll do it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way. Easy FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
After a night off, the Celtics in Orlando continue their first-round playoff series this evening at TD Garden. The Green lead just best of 7, 3 games to 1. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 8 and the tip-off at 8:30 here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Drew Holiday is out again for the Celtics with a strained hamstring. Last night, Golden State got 27 points from Jimmy Butler. They beat Houston again 109-106. They lead 3 games to 1. And earlier last night, the Eastern Conference's top seed, Cleveland, swept the Heat, care of a 138-83 win in Miami. Red Sox had last night off. They open up a 3-game series in Toronto tonight. Garrett Crochet will start. And the San Francisco 49ers have this morning signed tight end George Kittle to a 4-year, $76.4 million contract extension. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Brian Scalabrine, and Dave Portnoy. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Adolfo Gonzalez was on the show for over 10 years. He came from Dallas, Texas when he was 19. I'm still very close to him. And every time that we have Adolfo on or we do anything with him, he always shouts out this podcast, Doughboys. Now, I know Mike Mitchell from the Doughboys because he was on a show I liked very much called Love, and he was great on it. And I enjoy, so I know him. I've never heard the Doughboys podcast, though. But Adolfo, you can't get enough of them, to spite even our show.
Well, I listen to them every week.
No. But even at the expense of our show, like you'll do something for the show, but your concern is to promote the Doughboys podcast.
Well, they could use a little love. I mean,
I don't have a problem with it.
Worldwide.
Huh?
Yeah, they're known. You're known worldwide. T.
No, not like them. This guy's a big actor, and he's from Quincy.
He is.
All right, and you are. So we were offered Mike Mitchell, who again I think is a great comedic actor, and you, but I've never heard the podcast. We were offered him, and I said, and when it came up, I remember I said, "Oh, Adolfo is obsessed with these guys." That's true, right? They're your favorite.
I listen to them all the time because Mitch is always shouting out Boston, and whenever he gives these like little anecdotes or antidotes, anyway.
Yeah, he gives antidotes.
You know what? Yeah, those two.
That's right.
Whenever he talks about his hometown, like it makes me nostalgic for Boston.
Okay, so do you want to talk to Mike Mitchell from the Doughboys podcast?
Let's do it.
Are you prepared? Did you prepare?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Success written all over it.
It's going to be really good.
Well, Mike, this is not a setup. I swear to God, this is done with the best of intentions. Again, I'm a fan of your acting work. So welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. I disagree with Adolfo. I don't think our show is really good. So I don't know. I don't know where he's coming from on this, but I appreciate that he likes it, and I appreciate you saying that about my acting. But he should be listening to your show over mine.
No. Believe me, he listens to the show. He's got a lot of time. Yeah, he's got a lot of time. But I am not kidding, Mike. Let me start this interview because I don't want you to feel like you're being set up because you're not. Adolfo was really a part of the show for like 12 years, big part of it, and then he ended. Go ahead.
I've gotten background on Adolfo and everything like that. Mike crew in Quincy has updated me on everything. So.
Okay, so this is no setup. All right, so so it's for real. Like Adolfo will still do the show, and we'll put stuff out on social media, and Adolfo will shout you guys out. Like it had been a long. I used to have an ex partner who Adolfo was not fond of. He's not part of the show anymore. Adolfo comes on. It's a big deal. Adolfo's back on, and the first thing he does is go, "The Doughboys." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like always looking to promote you. So you guys are going to be at the you're going to be at the Wilbur, which is great.
At Wilbur.
On Saturday. Yes,
That's right.
Saturday, May 17th at 7:00. The Doughboys, who are very popular. You can get tickets at thewilbur.com. And so we were offered, you know, and you're from Quincy, and we were offered talking to you, and we were talking about, we're like, oh, this, and I'm like, these are the guys that Adolfo's obsessed with. So
yes,
maybe since he's obsessed with you, he should do this interview. Was the thinking? That's all.
I love it.
Okay.
Adolfo, I know it sounds like you're not prepared, but I'll roll with it. And by the way, you guys are welcome to come out to the show, too, if you want to come to the Wilbur and hear us talk about fast food for 90 minutes.
I'll go.
John Gabris.
Yeah.
I'll really go. I would love to go. I got nothing to do with it.
We'll put you on you'll get on the VIP list. You and my mom and a couple other people will be on there. But we have
Mrs. Mitchell.
Mrs. Mitchell is going to be there.
That would be her.
John Gabris is the guest, and John Hodgman, who is going to be there as well, who is on the Daily Show and a very funny guy, an author. So he'll be the other guest.
I would love to come. I honestly would love to come. My name's Fred Toucher. If you could put me on the list,
we would love to have you. I know your name. We would the Quincy crew would go nuts if you came. We would love to have you. You'll be the VIP, and I don't know what restaurant we're going to talk about yet, but there's a few options. So
all right, very cool. I will definitely come. I need. I do not have the kids this week, and I would love to come.
Fred,
now,
you got to.
Go ahead,
Fred,
Adolfo.
you got to meet Wu-Tang. You got to meet.
You do got to meet Wu-Tang. He's the man.
Okay, who's Wu-Tang, Adolfo?
Wu-Tang is one of the Quincy crew, and he's a really interesting character from what Mitch says on the show.
I think he got kicked out of our last Wilbur show for being overserved, I think.
Oh, what a coincidence. The last Wilbur show that we did, Adolfo got so wasted that he got kicked out of a cab and had to be carried into a hotel room.
Passed out right in the middle of the street.
Wow, they have a lot of... No wonder you like this Wu-Tang fella, Adolfo. You had the exact same situation.
Yeah,
there were people throwing up in the balcony of the last Wilbur show, and then people blamed it on my Quincy friends, which it was not. I want to make the record clear here. They were not barfing in the balconies, but the shows get wild, and Wu-Tang is a part of that. So we would love if you came and had some shots with him and hung out. It would be good time.
Imagine a crew of people like Mark Bertrand, who is also a North Quincy kid, a couple years behind Mike Mitchell in high school. So that's the vibe, right?
Yes, an anger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a fun anger to the group, is what you're saying. I get it. So Adolfo, and look, that's so funny that the same thing happened to Adolfo, because we've done Wilbur Theater shows too, and it's like, Adolfo, how wasted were you at the last one we did?
I was very drunk. As soon as I hit the stage, I don't remember anything.
That's right.
And then I woke up in the hotel.
Yeah, and you didn't know what hotel you were in, right?
Nope, had no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't a good idea for drinking 4 hours before the show.
All right. So
this is key to our show, is people just being blackout drunk and not remembering it. That's helpful for us.
It's very helpful. All right. So Adolfo, now when you listen to the show, what was the first thing that got you hooked on it?
What really got me hooked on it was I've been hearing a lot of buzz on the show from other podcasts I listen to. And I was like, well, I got to check them out. And once I started listening to them and I, hear about their it reminds me a lot of like a more traditional radio show. They have like an outline, they have guests, they have segments. It's like, it feels more like a radio show than like most podcasts do. Because a lot of podcasts are like, just like comedians, like, shooting the breeze for like 4 hours. And
right.
I'm not that kind of fan of a format of radio or podcasting. I like having that kind of like segments and like the structure to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This sounds much more interesting. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Is that true, Mike? Do you look at it? Is it different than other podcasts in that it's there's more of a format to it?
Yeah, my co-host Nick, who's not.
Wags.
I think he's a Weiger. Wags. He's not on the call here, and he's awake probably because he wakes up at like 5:30, but he's antisocial. But he does an intro, and we talk about the restaurant. We just mess around for a while. And we have a lot of segments, but we're not professional radio people at all. Which I'm not sure if that gets you guys upset. We're bad at our job.
Oh yeah, it infuriates me. As long as you're not filleting Rogan and doing 4-hour interviews, I'm fine.
Oh no, we make fun of Rogan quite a bit.
Good. Well,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. Well, thank you. At least someone's doing it. But so you're from Quincy.
Yeah.
And then did you just move out to how did you come from Quincy to doing what you're doing now?
I came out to LA this is 20 years this summer, which is crazy. But I moved straight out here I went to school in upstate New York in Ithaca, and I did a summer semester in LA, and I never left. My dad was just like, why don't you try it out there? And I stayed, and somehow I've tread water for 20 years out here.
So how did you start? Did you join an improv group? Were you a stand-up? Did you do any of that, or did you just go right into acting? How did you start out there?
Yeah, no, I started at UCB Theater, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in LA here, and I did improv and sketch. I was in a sketch group. We had a show on IFC that no one saw really. That with Bob Odenkirk. He was
wow.
He was he ran the show for us, and he's a legend, and he was great. But we did that for a couple of years, and then Love came a year or two after that. So
what's it
underappreciated, by the way?
Yeah,
Love very underappreciated.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for saying that. I know it came in the early day of Netflix shows, and I think it's a little overshadowed now, and it's mostly, I feel like it's mostly just reality shows on Netflix that people watch as murder shows. Right. But Love is one of the, it feels like an HBO show to me.
Excuse me 1 second, Adolfo. I don't mean to interrupt your interview, but I've talked to other people about this, people who are, successful from Boston, but then they move away and they're gone for decades like you have been. What is it like when you do a show in your hometown now? Because I've been told it's not like the reception people get from other cities. You move out of Dallas, you move out of Chicago, you come back to do a show. Smashing Pumpkins are welcomed with open arms in their hometown. Is it that same type of reception, or is it more of a, Mr. Big Shot, Mr. L.A. Big Shot? Nice of you to come home.
My Quincy friends will tell me if the show was not funny. They'll be very clear about that. My mom is in the audience, you know what I mean? So, I'm afraid about whatever story I'm telling about, me. Can I say masturbating or whatever? On the show?
You may.
Sorry,
you may.
All right, but I'm just saying things like that, and my mom is in the audience, just straight faced. It's horrible. I don't like doing the shows in Boston, honestly. But I love the city more than anything, and I miss it. So I'm very excited to come back. And
do you think your mom's unaware that you were masturbating growing up? Do you think that's something?
I don't think she ever knew until the podcast that I ever masturbated. That was her hope.
That was her hope.
She never wants to think about it.
She didn't do your laundry, I take it. There was none of that. It was very undercover. All right, well, Adolfo, is this a dream of yours, talking to Mike Mitchell?
Yeah, it's the last time I had a parasocial connection made social, I had a 10-year career out of it. So who knows? Who say lightning can't strike twice?
Huh? What?
Adolfo, if you're ever in the LA area, we will have you on the show if you want to come on the show.
Oh, snap. I wish I had things to plug. But yeah, that'd be great.
You don't have to have anything to plug. Just come and talk and hang out with us for a while. It will be great.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
What restaurant would you want to talk about?
Oh boy, you've already done Taco Bell 7 times. So
we've done Taco Bell. I think it's 15 times. That's another thing.
Oh,
I can't stress you guys how bad the show is.
Oh,
we've done
please.
Taco Bell 15 times.
I would listen to all 15 of those episodes.
I'm being told, Adolfo, you're coming up for this show. Are you going to be at the show?
Yeah, I'm coming up for the show. That's why I'm there. So yeah.
That's incredible. We'll comp you too, Adolfo, if you don't have tickets already, or we'll put you in better seats at least.
Adolfo?
Hey, how about that? That'd be great.
Way to not mention to him that you were coming to the show. That's very, very. You're keeping it underground. That's nice. But you were flying. Are you prepared? Did you prepare?
No.
All right.
I was trying to do a Freddie T, keeping it live and loose and spontaneous.
Do you have anything prepared? Do you have one question prepared?
Yeah, I guess. I have two, actually.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So, like, when you were, like, doing TV shows and shooting a movie, during the show, you were, like, stacking episodes. And
Yes.
you found that really challenging, So, like, how many shows, like, per day, like, you had to do? And, like, how long did you do it for?
Yeah. So when Adolfo was referencing, I'm on this show Twisted Metal, based on the video game, starring Anthony Mackie, and the second season comes out this summer on July 31st. I think is the premiere date. I should know that off the top of my head. But we banked a bunch of episodes. We were doing like 4 episodes a week sometimes, which the podcast, like I said, is not great, and also it has affected both of our healths. Me and my co-host we're like 50 pounds heavier than we were when we started the show, and we feel like we need to still eat this fast food every week, even though we don't have to do it. But we've definitely gotten, I'm wearing a CPAP machine. I'm laying in bed, by the way. It's 6 a.m. here on the West Coast, so I'm only just waking up.
Well, we appreciate it. That's very nice of you.
Thank you. No, God, I appreciate being on. Since the show has started, though, like 50 pounds. I wear a CPAP machine. It's not good for us. We should end it.
Right.
But
it's hazard pay. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, Adolfo, way to not tell him. Adam had to tell me in my ear that you're going to be here for the show. And way to not tell me.
I told you that. No,
Yeah,
I did told you that.
Like 6 months ago.
I told you that I was coming to Boston for the show.
Are you going to the show with anyone else?
No.
All right, then I'll hang out with you at the show.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Adolfo, it's less that he was like, hey, anytime you're out in L.A., we'll have you on the show. That would have been the opportunity for you to say, I'm actually going to be at the Boston show. And when that, just flew past, I had to let Fred know. Adolfo is coming up. I don't know why he's not mentioning it, but he is coming to Boston.
It's like Adolfo never left.
Well,
I would. That was the reason I was coming up.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're the one coming up. How the hell would I remember that? All right, look at everyone go to the Doughboys at the Wilbur. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with you, Adolfo.
We'll sit you near Adolfo. If you don't want to be near Adolfo, we'll sit you in a different section. It's up to you.
I love Adolfo. Of course, I love Adolfo.
He's very used to. We're very used to being intimate with each other. There's a time where I spear tackle his toilet.
What? You spear tackled his toilet?
What? Yeah.
Wait,
I got
what?
very, very. Remember when I got very, very drunk for when I turned 21?
Oh yeah,
and
In
you
Brighton.
ended up it almost had alcohol poisoning, and I ended up wrecking your toilet.
Yeah, I don't know so much about the alcohol poisoning, but I do remember you wrecking the toilet. Way to put that on me. Mike Mitchell.
No, that was me.
Yeah, it was you. You're making it sound like I had something to do with it. The Doughboys are going to be at the Wilbur, along with Adolfo.
Yes, please don't tackle the toilet at the Wilbur, Adolfo, but please have as much fun with Wu-Tang and get as drunk as you want. Yeah, please come up May 17th at 7 p.m. at the Wilbur.
All right, go to thewilbur.com to get tickets. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I think we're going to do legal seafood. I think that's what we're going to talk about. Because we talked about D'Angelo and Frappuccinos.
Wow.
I know, but I don't know what else to do with it because we've done a lot of the big local ones. We've done Kelly's and a bunch of other places. So I think we're going to do legal.
Okay.
My Zoom background's the interior of the Pizzeria Regina in the North End.
Oh, hell yes. Yeah.
All right.
That's my favorite.
Just for you, Spoon Man.
The Thatcher Street one is my favorite place in the world. That's my favorite restaurant.
All right. Well, look, everyone go see the Doughboys at the Wilbur Saturday, May 17th, thewilbur.com. Thanks so much, Mike. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are legends. I appreciate being on. I so much. And thank you, Adolfo. You're the man.
All right. Thanks.
You're the man, Spoon.
There you go. All right. Okay. All right. Adolfo, thank you, too. All right. Everyone, thank you very much.
Not awkward at all.
That was a fantastic idea. I'm glad we did it.
Well, you noticed I stepped in.
Yeah. Right at the beginning, because you sniffed out what was about to happen.
Well, I like the guy. I don't want him to think that we were like, undercutting him.
Right. If it wasn't
a sabotage, like I wasn't making fun of him.
You had a positive mental attitude throughout.
Did you do that to Scott Weiland with Adolfo?
Oh, we did it to a lot of people with Adolfo. We did Henry Rollins with Adolfo. Yeah. He didn't take it well. But Adolfo was like legitimately into these guys. But Adam makes a good point. Like, why didn't he tell him he was going to be at the show?
Perfect opportunity.
I don't know.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to
No, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
You're going to have to give me a
All
second. I have to retrieve something from the
You
waste
go
bin.
ahead. We got tons of emails and
Yeah.
texts and things to get to here on Toucher and Hardy. I would like to start with Sarah from Everett, who had emailed a lot yesterday wanting to know if Joe Murray has ever been on the Doughboys podcast. I think we would have heard about it by now. I'm sure we would have been alerted to that.
They must be aware of him at this point.
Well, I'm going to say no.
No. I mean, because if we're talking restaurants, that's the guy.
Joe, that would be like Joe going on a competing show. That would be like,
yeah.
It'd be like Budweiser, doing a collab with Miller Lite. You can't have that.
Sure.
All right, I do have what I needed to retrieve from the waste bin. I thought it was something that was not needed anymore, but we are doing a contest. It is called Toucher and Hardy's Mother's Day Mistakes in honor of Mother's Day. We have Steven Singer from IHateStevenSinger.com. He's going to have, for everyone who comes in, a brand new Blue Moon 24-karat gold-dipped rose. Okay? And that's just for qualifying.
Right.
And
And
coming in.
I would like to state this now. This copy that you are about to read from has been cleared by legal.
Right. This is what I am to read.
Yes.
I didn't write it.
Yeah.
Are you 10 years younger than your other siblings because you were unplanned? Did you actually accidentally get pregnant on prom night? Tell us about how you were or you had a Mother's Day mistake. Now, this is a Mother's Day mistake that you you aren't, it's unconventional, but look at how it's turned out. It's turned out wonderfully. This is like, say, I know a woman who was in her late 40s and she got unexpectedly pregnant. She'd already had, it was a second marriage. She already had 100 kids. And she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm pregnant again. Now she's happy she has the kid, but it's a funny story.
It could be the first one, too. I mean,
no. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
no. Because I think the first one's obvious. Like you had because I just said prom night.
Yeah.
So you have a first one, and then 20 years later, you have another one. That's something. But I think I just said the prom thing. So there's another end of it too.
Yes.
Is that if you had a kid late in life, if you had a kid early in life, late in life, you understand what we're saying. Hit the contest page at 985thesportshub.com. Fill out the entry form, including a photo of you and your parent or adult child, okay? So everyone's got to be an adult, not bringing in a 5-year-old and saying, look at this mistake. This was unplanned. This is, this has been discussed before. And you could be one of our 5 lucky pairs to join us in studio on Tuesday, May 8th. Now, we did one of these with May-December couples for Steven Singer not so long ago, and it went very, very well. Everyone seemed to have a great time, and that is our intention. So sign up today, get a great Mother's Day bunch of jewelry from Steven Singer, and sign up today on the contest page at 985thesportshub.com. And that's how you'll do it. And that should be fun. We'll see who we get.
Yep.
And if we don't get anyone, Steven Singer's not going to be here, so it won't be as embarrassing as we had.
We were very nervous about the first one because he was coming in and the whole thing, but it was great. Earlier in the show, Fred, you got a chance to hear portions of the latest episode of the Sports Hub Golf Club, which was all about superintendents with the executive director of the Golf Course Superintendents of New England, superintendent from Woodland, the superintendent from Fresh Pond. You and Wallach both made quite a bit of sport of me over this episode. The emails I've received since have been overwhelmingly supportive. These superintendents make people's lives better and the game more fun. Glenn at Cohasset is a gem. Also, love the science behind it. That's from Pat. Also, listen to this. Your question about the practice putting green speed versus the speed of the actual greens was brilliant. You were getting stock PC answers, but that one question brought out the vulnerability of the interview subjects.
It is true. When
Boom.
you
That's
challenge,
what I thought of.
and that's what that's what a great interviewer will do. It's like when the Ayatollah was on 60 Minutes, and they broke him down. You can actually make peace.
I think it was Wallace who moves his chair like real close to him
Yeah.
to kind of get things started.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like maybe you have someone involved in the whole Israel-Palestine conflict. You have someone from both sides.
Sure.
You bring them in, and everyone's got their talking points, but you establish this comfortable, this intimacy where things get done. I understand what you did.
How about the different chemicals and stuff?
Yeah, how about them?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a hot button issue here. Trees.
Herbicide.
Yeah, let's talk about cutting all those trees down for no good reason.
Trees are a hot button issue. You have hippies like Adam with nothing better to do than complain about it. And then you have the golf course people that can be very annoying. I have a feeling that there's things going on at the country club that people are very, very involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Like members are
Greens-
very, very involved in.
The Greens Committee. That's a big one. The Competition Committee.
Why you would pay to be a part of something that you have to
Then work at?
then you have to go and work at is just insane to me. Like, especially something as dumb as a country club. Like, why would you want to be on the board of that?
Just sign
go cure cancer.
Sign your membership over to me already. Just do it. Be done with it.
Can I do that?
We're working on it.
Okay.
I'll take over the payments.
All right. Well, now's the time. Well, it would have been better a month ago, but now here we are.
Greens Committee. Specifically, what about the Greens does this committee debate?
I don't know. I've never belonged to a club that had a Greens Committee, but they exist.
All I know is that there's votes, and I vote no for everything. It's like, should we build this? No. Should we build this? No. Nothing. I want nothing built. I want everything. How about this? Free March.
How about take some stuff away? How about let's make it a 9-hole course, sell the other 9 holes for condos, and lower my dues?
Yeah, let's like make this an ESOP situation.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I would like. Absolutely. I don't know how much I like playing golf. I'm not like John that can just go out to schnotty places, wherever in Newton. I'll tell you what. I drove by Newton Commonwealth the other day.
Yep.
That place is a dump, and there was 5,000 people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Balls flying everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Over everyone's
That
heads.
hasn't changed. They added a driving range, but the overall vibe's about the same.
I mean, I couldn't tell. But there were people hitting, and they were hitting right directly at people 10 feet away.
Yep.
It was a whole thing.
Head on a swivel when you're playing that course, but I've played it many times and had enjoyable rounds there.
Because I'm driving through, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this can't be a country club, A, because the grass is horrible, but also because there's 500 people on this thing.
Yeah.
I might have been looking at 200 yards of golf course on either side, 100 on either side, and there might have been 45 people on those 100 yards. And where they were hitting were every angle, baby.
Maybe it was league night.
Every angle was covered.
Have you sat in the cart going up to the first tee with like 8 golf carts in front of you and just wondering?
I know I've played there before, but I don't play enough golf. I played a place in Atlanta. I've told this story where there were bums laying on the course,
right?
And then you realize like maybe there's something to the government screwing with people, because there would be bottles of malt liquor with brands. I'd be like, I drink a lot, and I've never seen any of this anywhere. Like snake venom malt liquor. And I'm like, maybe they did introduce crack into the ghettos. I'm like, because this is not available to me. I drink Mickey's and Old English and all this stuff. There was stuff that these bums would have that were bought from stores.
Wow, Night Train. It's not just from popular
Exactly.
culture.
Yeah, it's not
It
just a Guns N'
exists.
Roses song. Yeah, like it was pretty funny. So there would be, dude, they were nice, like
The bums.
Yeah. But they'd be like in a sand trap. They'd be and this is not I'm not playing at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is 11 o'clock in the morning. Go out there. What the hell was the name of it? I loved it too. But they had to put all these nets up because people were getting pelted in the head. So they had to put nets up all over the place.
Like on the course?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like on tee boxes, too. Like they had to put nets
yeah.
up. It was a real dump. What was the name of it? It was off Ponce. Whatever. No one cares. Anyway, it was fun. It's some of my good memories were playing that. All right. This is about Wallach's trip to Paris. This is it said thank you. So I immediately opened it.
All right.
Robert says, "Hi, Fred. Is Wallach serious? He did everything wrong on his trip to Paris. No direct flight, waiting in lines, no plan ahead of the best restaurants. This frustrates me. and that's Bob from Quincy.
Yeah, that's just what you want to do with two 15-year-old boys. Make sure you hit a 5-star. Hit a 5-star high Zagat rating or Zagato, however you.
Zagat.
There's nothing better than doing that with teenage boys.
Kids love French museums.
Artie on The Sopranos used to call it Zagat.
One of the great skits in SNL history is Farley is the wife and Sandler is the husband when she's reading the Zaggett's guide about what they're going to do on their anniversary. She starts feeling, Farley starts feeling up Sandler's leg. It's one of the great.
No, that's up there. That's a good one. Yeah.
It's one of the great skits, and there's nothing to it.
No,
it's all Farley.
Yeah.
It's just all Farley, and I'm not even a huge Farley fan, but that Farley's like magical in that sketch.
When my wife and I went to Paris, she wanted to go to some restaurant, and she'll be able to tell you the name of it in a second because it's famous for some reason.
Okay.
But it's maybe the one meal I've had in my life where I didn't know what I ordered, I don't know what I ate, and I really don't know one thing that actually happened there that night. You know, I was sober, but it's just everything was in French, and that was like the French waiter experience that you see in movies where, no, I'm here to work. I'm not here to introduce myself and, talk about the flare of my suspenders. Nope. And you're going to order off this menu and I'm not going to help you and you're going to eat it and then you're going to leave.
Sounds
Very
wonderful.
small hotel room.
Sounds awesome.
Do you find yourself,
not my favorite.
Even when you're enjoying things, all you're doing is thinking that, like, when is this going to be over? That's a big problem. The only thing I did two things in the Bahamas with my daughter. One thing I would suggest to anyone that you can do at Atlantis is called Deep Water Adventures. They put you in the water with the dolphins, and they give you these, like, things that you hold that propel you through the water, and you literally swim with the dolphins without them screwing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just you and the dolphins, and there is something, like, joyful in that, like, for real. Like, I even my daughter was like, Jesus Christ, Dad, I've never, like, you're having a good time. she's like, I'm like, wow, this is so amazing, and I'm being sincere. And my daughter was like, my daughter actually said something like, wow, you're enjoying this. But they do this really cool thing for me and my daughter, and they bring this sea lion out, and it's sitting there, and they train it and everything, and they're like slapping you 5. And I'm going, wow, what an interesting experience. Like, this is one of the only places in the world where they have this, where they'll do this, da-da-da. And I go, why am I so ready for this to be over? And I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, I'm enjoying myself. I think my daughter's enjoying herself. But I'm just like, when is this going to be over? What's the next thing I'm going to be doing? It's not being present. That's the problem,
That's it.
It's not being present.
And you are such a baby because the dolphins make you cry. I just can't I can't get past that part of it.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, this is the host of the golf show.
I only want to be with you.
Goes right to golf's crown prince of a song.
Is there a Tiger Woods event? Hootie's playing.
Hey, it's two of the good black guys. We'll put them together.
Two of the good ones.
Two of the good ones. All right, so we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics will take a 3-1 lead in a game.
words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, everybody. We're Toucher and Hardy. And what's going on? You tell me.
So we talked about the end of the Knicks-Pistons game the other night, and we talked about what would happen if the roles had been reversed. The New York media would be flipping out and calling for investigations, and I'm sure the
national media, just to real quick, not to interrupt, but which I do often, but the national media, more than any other team in the world, are Knicks fans.
Right. But, you're talking about the, district attorney there in the Southern District, Billion-style, would be getting involved. It did not go unnoticed in Detroit, and CBS News Detroit had one of their reporters out on the court after the game.
Here we are at Little Caesars Arena because, unfortunately, I have to deliver the news that the Pistons have lost back-to-back home playoff games on missed calls. Let's break down how today's happened. We find ourselves with 7 seconds left in regulation, and Cade Cunningham, the all-star, the MVP, the leader of this team, finds himself right here in what he says is one of his spots, about 14 and a half feet from the net. He pulls off a pull-up that he says is muscle memory. He's shocked it missed. J.B. Bickerstaff is shocked it missed. His teammates are shocked it missed. But there's no time for that because a scrum ensues under the net, and the ball rolls this way, where the Michigan man, Tim Hardaway Jr., finds himself in the corner, ready to pull off a three, a spot that he was so hot at in Game 3. But unfortunately, as soon as he jumps up, I can't hit that vertical to get that tall. Josh Hart is bodying over him in what is post-game deemed illegal contact. Only crew chief Dave Guthrie admitted that after a post-game replay review. In-game, the foul is not called,
this is stupid.
not allowing Tim Hardaway for his opportunity to get 3 free throws off to win the game.
The thing is, why don't you call the foul and then have the Knicks go challenge it?
Yeah.
Like, call the foul. I mean, and this isn't like at the end of the game, you don't call minor stuff. This is a guy getting fouled, like full-on fouled in every way. His arm was hit, his landing space was compromised, and he was hit with his body. Like, there was not a way he wasn't fouled. Like, maybe you don't call like he was in his landing space. That's kind of like a ticky-tack thing to like end a game on. But when he bowls over a guy, and Hardaway didn't even sell it, and maybe that's on him. But, like, because he didn't, to my recollection, he didn't go collapse. But, like.
He kind of jumped off to the left.
Yeah, because I think he was hit.
Yeah.
Or he was avoiding him. What I'm saying is he didn't, soccer ball.
He leaned into the shot, into the block a little bit.
Well, no, but that you're supposed to. That's still a foul.
Yes. It was a foul. It was a foul in every way imaginable. But I will give credit to that reporter. That's Rachel Hopmare, who is doing that without notes. She's just out there, rattling off all that stuff.
She's walking around the court, too.
It's pretty good.
Is she a news person doing sports or a sports person?
That's a news person, obviously. Yeah. The thing is that in the New York and the national media are going, the woke media are going, Cade Cunningham should have made that shot. Well, okay, fine. Yeah, he should have. But it doesn't matter. You can get an offensive rebound. The Knicks should have. How about this? The Knicks should have gotten a defensive rebound there. The Knicks should have gotten the defensive rebound, and then the Patriots. The Pistons would have had the foul. They would have just had to make a shot, and then the thing would have been over. If they make 2 free throws, it's over. Or 2 free throws, it's over.
The Knicks are baffled as to why the crybaby media in Detroit is upset about this.
It's just the Knicks are so annoying because every national guy, they're all Yankee fans too, but every national guy is a Knicks fan. At least the Yankees are good. The Knicks are never good. And I don't... and I know it's an old thing, but I don't think that Spike Lee should be able to be on the court hugging players during the game.
I'm with you with that.
And I don't know why he wants to do that. What part of you as a fan of a team like wants to go out and start like hugging dudes during the game? You know? Like it's a passive activity to watch and to enjoy. Why do you have to be like sit on the bench and like rub their asses and stuff during the game? Sit down. And he's in Detroit. And you can't do anything to him. He's walking in front of your seat. You got a courtside seat. You level the guy, you're going to jail. And all of a sudden Detroit gets another black eye. I mean, if some midget's running in front of you, like going back and forth all game, screaming and yelling, and you paid $10,000 to sit on the floor, I'm pissed off. Get away. Stop hugging everyone. Sit down. It's like going into a play or going to a concert and like starting like playing around with the guitar, starting hitting the cymbal. I know the band. I know the band.
Get ready.
Picking up a tambourine.
At least 2 games of that coming up.
Well, when the Knicks play the Celtics, at least it's like a thing because the Celtics have a big fan base too. With the Pistons, it's like I hate it. I get very defensive at Detroit in these situations. I don't like the way they're treated. It's a big city. I don't like the way they're treated by New York. All right. We can't all be Shaughnessy, the broken windows and dust of downtown Detroit every time that the Red Sox would play the Tigers. All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.